evening. Welcome and thank you for tuning into Reserve Inspiration's Twitch channel for our first live stream Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition game. We will be heading away from the typical fantasy genre of D&D to explore a bit of the sci-fi approach, but do not worry, die-hard fantasy fans, we will most certainly satiate your cravings. In compliance with Massachusetts safety guidelines, I'd like to point out that the team and I will be wearing masks for the protection and safety of each other, our friends, family, and of course the community. We also installed protective barriers between players as an additional safety measure. Unfortunately, you may occasionally see a glare or reflection on the side of one of the screens, but what you gonna do? COVID-19. With that being said, it will be much more challenging for everyone to see the facial expressions of the characters, so the players will have to rely on the insight skill to measure a character's intent. Now I'd like to introduce the Reserve Inspiration team. On my left is Lauren Richard, playing Tita, the Thri-Kreen monk, and next to her is Mike Bridges as Ezaziel, the Vidalcan wizard. On my right is Kayla Adams, who will, on occasion, be the supporting character Zenessi, the ASMR artificer, as well as conducting our background music and sound effects. Good luck, girl. Christina Mann will be playing Plonk, the Verdun rogue, and last but certainly not least, Priya Tate as Minerva, the ASMR ranger. Unfortunately, our fabulous artist, Sarah Doobie, is not in the studio this evening. However, Andrew Souza, our production manager, will be manning the tech booth behind the scenes. My name is Aaron Benner, and I will be your Dungeon Master, or in this case, the Galaxy Master, or GM, for the duration of this adventure. We're here in our studio at our local game store, the Game Reserve. And the Game Reserve, it's not only a game shop, but also an amazing community of friends and game players of all ages. It offers all types of games, including, but not limited to, role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, Magic the Gathering, Warhammer 40k, a wide variety of board games, and much, much more. Come by in person at 495 Center Street, Middleborough, Massachusetts, or if you're not local, check out their Facebook page, The Game Reserve, for online orders and hours of operation. Come visit the owner, James, join in one of the many gaming events, and become part of the Game Reserve community. Now, I would like to mention that Dungeons & Dragons is a game where pretty much everything is improv. So, yes, we are going to make mistakes, and no, we do not want to hear about them. If we're unsure of a rule, for the sake of brevity, I will be making a ruling, and we will look it up at the break. It's meant to be fun for everyone, including the Galaxy Master, all the players, and of course you, the viewers. Now, because everything is improv, our content may contain adult situations, violence, minor drug use, etc., but we will try our very best not to swear. We are adopting a set of alternate words to take their place from a fantastic sci-fi show put out in 2001. Not sure if I can name it due to copyright infringement, so we'll just leave it at that. I've homebrewed a few rules, which will be posted later in the week. Two of the most important new rules to be familiar with will involve death saves and inspiration. When players fall unconscious, they must roll a death save on their turn, like any other typical Dungeons & Dragons game. However, these rolls will be made in secret where only the GM and the dying player are aware of the result. The reason? Other players will not be apprised of the roll, making the urgency to assist their fallen comrade much greater. So the other important rule, players can earn inspiration fragments, or ifs, as the story progresses. Players may use as many or as few ifs as they'd like for any d20 roll, granted they have at least one available in their mode of inspiration. The goal of this is to allow players to save up their ifs for a big, important roll or use them willy-nilly a few at a time. Ergo, the group name, Reserve Inspiration. Well, that was a lot, but before I pass the buck to Priya for information on our social media and how you can stay informed of any future updates, Lauren, do you mind reading our mission statement?
Sure. So the purpose, for anyone who might not know, of a mission or vision statement is to basically define and communicate the goals and purposes of a group or organization. We kind of work together to draft something that we feel represents who we are and what we promote. So Reserve Inspiration is a community valuing individuality, diversity, and most importantly, equality for all. As a small group of entertainers, we encourage the exploration of your imagination through creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking. Escape from the everyday and join us on our quest to spread positivity and harmony one episode at a time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lauren. Priya, you want to tell us a little bit about social media?
Yeah, so we have a couple accounts that all of you can follow to keep track with us when we're not doing these live streams. We've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. The links to those are going to be in the box next to me, which is hopefully on this side, otherwise I look like a fool right now. But yeah, so make sure to keep up with us that way so that you can stay tuned, learn about any updates we've got going on. And before we get back to things, the last thing that I want to talk about is today's cool space fact of the day. Since this is a space-themed campaign, today's cool space fact is the tallest mountain in our solar system is not on Earth, but it's on Mars. It's called Olympus Mons, and it is 3 times taller than the peak of Mount Everest, and also it's a volcano. It's not an active volcano anymore, but it was once an active volcano.
Fantastic. Nice. So now I'd like to kind of go around the table and have each of you kind of describe in a bit of detail each character that you'll be playing. So Lauren, if you want to start us off with some information about Tita.
Sure. So I'm going to be playing Tita. He is a thri-kreen, which is basically an ant or a praying mantis type person. So he stands up on 2 legs, but he's got 4 arms. Rather than fingers, he's got 3 pincers. And he doesn't really stand up too tall. He's kind of hunched over, a little relaxed, you could say. His carapace is a golden yellow color, and his antennae, rather than sticking up, kind of fall down like dreads. He's not wearing any shoes, he's not wearing a shirt, but he is sporting some dope harem pants. He carries a pickaxe, because he's a tunneler, and he also sports some pretty dope goggles. And he's rocking a crossbody with some shurikens, but he's pretty approachable, because he's a pretty friendly guy.
Mike, do you want to tell us a little bit about Zaxa?
Sure. I will be playing Zaxa Zior, who is a male Vidalcan. The Vidalcan are a humanoid race of blue, partially amphibious humanoids. Zaxa specifically is a little duller blue, more of a slate kind of. No hair to speak of at all. He is wearing very bright yellow robes under his white lab coat. And he will always be carrying his notebook and an ink pen to take notes on everything he sees.
Fantastic. Kayla, would you like to give us a little bit of information about Zanesi?
Would I? Alright, so Senesi's an ASMR. She is very, very pink. She's got a pink undercut, she wears it in a bun. She's got pinkish skin, like a light baby pink. She wears overalls and like a pink little crop top, and she's just very cute and very friendly. And yeah.
Alright, very good. Christina, a little bit about Plonk?
Yeah. So Plonk is she is a female Verdon, which is they used to be goblins. They came from underground and moved to different elven communities, so they are more elf-like rather than goblin. As they get older, their ears become longer, and very, very old Verdons have their ears pinned back in the back of their head. Sorry, her name is Plonk. Didn't say that. She's 65 years old, which is pretty much a young adult for a Verdon. Her ears aren't quite as long to be pinned back, but they're a little longer than regular elven ears. She is small. She's 4'1". She's got blue skin, bluish, purplish skin, and blue eyes. She has green hair. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Priya, you want to tell us about Minerva?
Sure. Minerva wears very dark colors. She wears black as her base clothing, and then she's got dark brown leather armor on top of that. She has purple-ish skin, a very light purple, but you don't really see much of her skin. You only kind of see her hands and the sides of her head because Both sides of her head are shaved. She has an undercut. The rest of her hair is a very dark black color that she just keeps in a low ponytail. I would describe her face, however, you can't see her face because she constantly wears a mask. It's a coppery colored mask that has like texture on it to make it look like it has vines and leaves on it. She's an ASMR as well. She's very tall. She's around 6 feet. And she carries a crossbow and 2 swords.
Very good. All right, so I think it's about time for us to start jumping into this game.
Awesome.
All right. If everyone's ready.
Yeah.
So, we're going to be starting with you, Minerva. Minerva, let me in. As you hear this phrase, your mind shifts from still darkness to a burning radiant light so intense it is impossible to look at directly. And in your mind's eye, you can see a figure appear, standing at least 10 feet tall, as an opposing Adonis-like figure chiseled to perfection. Rippling muscles pop out of the flowing white robes that trail behind the stationary creature, as if there were a breeze. There isn't. A pair of massive white feathered wings, with a wingspan of at least 25 feet, protrude from their back. The being hovers, even while the wings are stationary. Bright golden eyes emit beams of radiant light, while a thick mane of golden hair cascades over their shoulders, almost floating, as if there were no gravity. The imposing figure is a familiar one. It is that of the angel Ezaziel, the truth seeker. Your heavenly guardian and the herald of the goddess of knowledge herself, Ayun. Minerva, as you know, Guilt is an organization I put together to serve Almighty Goddess in her quest for knowledge and truth. And your team, the Spite team, to preserve knowledge and innocence. But Minerva, I must pull you from what you know best. I have been given a glimpse into one possible future. I wish to share it with you if you will accept. And they don't seem to move. They're expectantly waiting for you to approach. Would you like to approach?
I do. I take a couple steps forward, and I say, I'm willing to hear you out, but with respect, of course. Why me?
He kind of nods as you step forward, and as you move up to him, they lower themselves to your level, cupping your cheeks in his palms. And for a moment, your eyes catch his, and you stare deep into the golden radiance. A moment of peace and bliss wash over your soul. You exhale, and as you do, they place their forehead against yours. You instinctively gasp for air as burning energy, like nothing you've ever felt before, lurches into your mind. You feel your physical form go limp and fall into Ezaziel's arms. Waves of force and light flit by your mind's eye faster than you can even fathom. Your consciousness travels at this rate for 20, 30, 40 seconds until everything stops. You are a spectator to an empty black void. Ezaziel's presence can be felt, but there is no visual confirmation that they are with you. Your consciousness hovers there for what seems like days, years, aeons, until a tiny spark erupts in the vacuum of nothingness, followed by a flash of light so bright you have to wince your eyes and kind of turn away. When you look back, growing in the center of this empty expanse is a swirling ball of multicolored energy undulating and pulsing. You watch intently as it becomes more and more erratic. A crackle of lightning, a burst of flame, a piercing flare of light. All of a sudden, everything goes still. Brightly colored streaks of energy explode out in all directions, glittering the void of darkness with 4 stars. Sources of light and energy stretching as far as you can see, one golden and radiant. one red, one blue, one yellow. The once black expanse is now painted in purples and greens, blues and pinks that reflect and refract the light of the stars. Bursts of elemental energy rocket out in equivalent lines, stretching as far as you can see, sectioning off the galaxy into 4 quadrants. Masses of rock and earth spring up and are scattered throughout the ever-extending galaxy to which you call home. You stare off into its beauty until everything begins to flicker. And you watch as time passes rapidly. Planets spin like a top, and you feel a rush of force over your body as you are thrown thousands and thousands of years into the future to what you can only assume to be present day. You are hovering there, intently surveying the center of the elemental chaos, and it's absolutely breathtaking. After a few moments, a bullet of silver, a silvery force energy erupts from the center of the mass and rockets off into the astral space. The pulsating center becomes more erratic. The energy begins to swirl around the unstable mass. This sphere, the epicenter of the galaxy, with a loud implodes upon itself. All of the elemental barriers that have sectioned off the star system for aeons begin to quake. The elemental plane of water freezes over. The bits of floating Earth and asteroid belt begin to collide with one another, and the storm barriers and the fiery inferno that once protected the rest of the galaxy from the fiendish planets goes out. Minerva, I need you to assemble a new team. The team that can investigate this occurrence. The spiked team will be quite busy dealing with fiendish incursions. Though you may not believe it, Minerva, I have been keeping an eye on you, and I believe you are ready to captain your own team. I'm filling in your current team of your new mission as we speak. When you awake, find Zinessi. She will have all of the necessary information on your new team and when their expiration dates is to occur. Though it is not new, I have acquired a decommissioned gunship as well. And a pilot will be and the pilot I personally vouch for. I'm trusting you with this great task, Minerva. Do not let me down.
Wait, is this something that has already happened or something that can happen? I want to know exactly what I'm investigating.
This is one possible future that I have seen.
Okay.
We cannot let it come to pass.
Understood.
And as he says that, you jolt awake. And you are inside the halo. What would you like to do?
Is there like a clock or anything next to me?
In your room, you probably have... No clock.
Okay.
I'll say no clock.
Okay. I guess I'm just wondering what time it is.
Mhm.
But this seems incredibly important, so I will just get up. I'll put my armor on first.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be too careful, I suppose. I'll get all of my equipment. I'm not sure when I'm leaving exactly, so I guess I'll just be ready. And I will exit my room and I will start to walk around the Halo ship towards Zinessi.
Yeah, you step through the door, and the whoosh doors. And as you continue down the hall, the way the Halo ship is set up is there is a 40-foot by roughly 20-foot ship in the center, and there are 4 electrical tethers that reach out in 4 directions and connect to a massive halo that surrounds that section of the ship. And inside the halo are like the living quarters and the lab and all of the things that you would need to access there, and you kind of have to circle all the way around. However, as you know, there are teleportation sigils that will allow you to jump to that center cockpit area, if you would like.
Yeah. Would I know one that I could jump into the center and then jump to the side of the ship that Zinessi is on?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all. So yeah, you can jump through that portal, and you can almost, when you step on it, It's almost like your body dematerializes and gets shot through the electricity to the other side. And once you appear there, you hop on the next one and it shoots you to the opposite side of the ship. Zanessi's room is right around the corner from that teleportation sigil, so you can head to her room if you'd like.
Yeah, yeah. That's like the first place that I would think to look for her. If she's not there, I can look for her somewhere else.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm just gonna go up to her door and just give it a little
knock. All right. Zanessi, are you in there? Are you awake? What are you doing?
I'm in there.
You're in there.
Maybe I'll be awake.
All right, so yeah, you hear Minerva knock.
Alright. Come in.
Hi. Sorry to bother you. I was told by Ezaziel that you have some information on the team I'm supposed to be assembling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Zanessi, you had a vision from Ezaziel as well. Everyone on the ship did, actually, everyone on that team. And he provided you with the necessary information to look up the files for each of these particular team members that he would like you to recruit.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you all of that. Yeah, I got the information to look up all the files for the people we need to get, so.
Do you mind if I take a look at them?
Sure.
The files.
I don't see why not.
Thank you.
All right. So you pass those over. You take a peek, Minerva, and there are 4 files there. Feel free to, you know who they are, so feel free to peruse or ask any questions that you'd like. Now, Zanessi, you know that there's a meeting set up for everyone to head to at some point, and that's in the map room where everyone can meet around the table. So I don't know if the two of you would like to head there.
Yeah, I suppose as we are, I would also just like to ask Zanessi, are you going to help me with the extraction? I don't really know how that machine works.
Definitely.
Okay.
Very good. All right. Yeah, it's the Expiration materializer is the machine that you'll be extracting those people with. So yeah, if you're gonna head down to the navigation deck, there will be the rest of the team waiting for you there. Okay. So you head down there, and you see, as you walk in, you see 4 figures sitting around a circular table, seemingly waiting for the 2 of you to arrive. And one of them you see is dressed in full plate armor. He's got long, blonde, flowy hair. And you recognize this gentleman as Onlum. He is the leader of your team. And his hair is about shoulder's length. Like I said, he's fully armored. And he's the general face of your squad, of your team. He's a bit dumb, but very persuasive. And he's very good in close range combat. Of course, there's also Nogatim, which is, she has jet black hair, like a void almost. And that's long all the way to the arch of her back. She has solid black eyes, and let's see, she had, and she wears these dark grayish robes, and she has like a breastplate over that as well. Next around the circle is Modron. He is your warlock of the team, and you know him very well. He's actually your best friend on the ship. So Modron, he has he has shock white, wild and messy hair, and solid white eyes, and he also has like dark navy robes, and he's got all kinds of intricate jewelry and designs all over. And finally, there is Olve, your rogue of the group. You know as her to be soft and kind of shy voice, and she, as you know, has a sketchy past. She's very short for an Asimar. Some think that she might have dwarven blood. But yeah, like I said, she's very short, shy, and she has like this orange fire-like hair, and her eyes look like they're burning embers. But yeah, the 4 of them are there, and then Onlum is like, well, about time the 2 of you show up. Get over here, we got a lot to talk about.
at him. I don't say anything, but I sit down.
All
Alright.
Oh, and Onlum, you know him to be your best friend, so, you know, that's perfectly fine. So, you all sit down, and Onlum's like, all right, so Ezaziel told me he's got some ship for you. It's kind of like hovering outside ours right now. There's some weird guy on it,
The
but
pilot.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, he's just waiting over there, so whenever you want to go. But he said, Ezaziel said you have to go to like the lab or something and get people. I don't know.
He told me what I need to know. I suspect he might have told me a little bit more than he told you, but I do have some business in the lab to take care of.
You don't necessarily know that. But anyway, we should probably get to it because the sooner you're off the ship, the happier I'll be.
Somebody mad he didn't get promoted, Almond?
His eye just kind of twitches. He turns to Zanesi, rolls his eyes, which I'm not sure if it's reciprocated, but that is the case. But Modron is like, he comes up to you as you're talking. He's like, hey man, you know, I'm really gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss you too.
You can't leave me with all these people.
Well, I'm not all that bad. It's just the paladin who pretty much stinks, but
You know, I guess.
Zin's really nice, even though she's friends with him.
Yeah, well, you know.
You're gonna be okay. Don't let them get to you. I believe in you, alright?
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Onlum's like, all right, enough of this sappy dren. Let's get ourselves together here, and why don't you go to the labs? Because, you know, like I said, the sooner you're gone, the better. What would you like to do?
Zin, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's party.
I will miss most of you. See you later.
Modron, he runs over and just gives you a big hug.
Big hug too.
Noga team kind of just nods with a smile, and Olve just kind of gives a little bit of a wave. But yeah, are you heading to the lab now?
Yeah, and I'm definitely following Zanesi because I don't go to that part of the ship too much, I feel like.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, the two of you head to the lab, and when you head inside, there's all kinds of interesting equipment in there. There are large test tube-like structures. There's a bunch of technology that Minerva, you have no idea how to use. But Zin, you head straight to one particular machine, the Expiration materializer. And you have the coordinates in those documents if you want, so that the two of you would like to start looking into extracting some fellas, some ladies.
I just have one question before we start all this. How do you stand that guy?
What do you mean?
Almond. That one. Almond. Like I know that you're kind of friends with him. I mean, I'm just wondering for my own sake and for Modi's sake. I'm a little worried about him being here without me. This isn't me saying look after him because he's an adult and I know he can take care of himself, but also please look after him.
Well, I mean, I'll do my best, but
Thanks.
All right. So the two of you kind of huddle over the machine, I'm assuming? Good. Zanesi, go ahead. And you're going to enter your coordinates?
yep.
All right, fantastic. So as you do that, let's jump to Pandemonium. So, Pandemonium is a wasteland, whipping winds and sand. Many of the planet's inhabitants make their home underground to avoid the maddening effects of the ever-blasting gales. So, Tita, you are sleeping currently, and you awaken to a loud horn. Just like one of those alarms, yeah. And yeah, this is, you know this to
Trigger
be
warning.
you know this to be the alarm or the horn that is to wake everyone up for work.
Okay.
So, gotta jump out of bed. Well,
I do not
You
jump
do not
out.
jump out of bed.
Jump out of bed.
please describe to me what you would like to do. Tita.
So if some annoying alarm is going off, I'm probably tossing and turning for a bit. I'm definitely gonna be mumbling and grumbling, rubbing the big eyes, get the crusties out, and then I'll probably maybe just reach over without looking,
Mhm.
over and just grab my bong and just rip some moss real quick to kind of start the day, get in the right mood.
Mm.
And then I guess I'll just like get up and start getting dressed. I mean, I only kind of wear pants, so there's not a lot to do there.
Just throw those pants on.
Put those pants on right quick, and yeah, I guess I'm gonna grab my pickaxe, kind of just throw it over the shoulder, like again, and yeah, like head out to work, I guess.
All right. So as a Thrycrean, you live underground, obviously, and there are massive super tunnels that have been built throughout the entire society.
Yeah, I know, I built them.
I'm aware. All of the huts or houses are kind of just little small holes dug into the side of each of these cavern walls, and your job is obviously to make these large tunnels. So after you rip the moss bong, are you heading out to work?
Yeah, I guess.
Fantastic.
I mean, I'm a pretty simple guy, so.
So you work for a couple different agencies. You work for Deep as well as Dust. You're on the Dust detail, correct? Very
My
good.
subdivision.
Yeah, subdivision. So
You're right, Cream.
Deep stands for Discovery, Excavation, and Expansion of Pandemonium Passageways. That is your outlet. And Dust stands for Development of Underground Super Tunnels. You have been specially assigned to super tunnels because of your speed. So as you are leaving your little hovel hut, you step out into a massive super tunnel, and there are thousands of Thrycrean just down this tunnel. And as you come out, you kind of stumble, bump into the guy's like, "Hey!" And it keeps moving. He's like, "Watch yourself!" And yeah, you just get into the
Sour cream.
you get into the big huddled mass, and you kind of start following along with everyone. And for once in your life, you're actually early to work by a few minutes.
Far out.
On the way, there are different, small structures and buildings and whatnot. But one of your favorite spots is the mud bucket. And you have a few extra minutes, so.
Alright, yeah. So I mean, if I got a few minutes, I am definitely gonna swing by the mud bucket so I can go check out my girl Kit, who is a little barista, I guess, over there. So yeah, I'll just kind of head in, peep, see if she's working. Obviously, she's working, and then I will get in line, and I'm gonna order my little mud cannikin and just slide over and wait for the.
There's quite a long line, but Kit is very quick. She's banging out orders left and right.
It's my girl.
And after about 5 minutes or so, you get up to the front of the line, and she's like, sorry.
Oh wait.
Well, then I just want to see what I have for her voice to make sure I'm doing it correctly, so I don't mess it up later.
Don't make it lame, because she's
Hello.
dope.
May I please assist you?
Hey Kit, can I just get a cannikin?
Yes, a cannikin of mud.
Yeah,
Would you like a squirt of grub juice?
you know it, girl.
Of course, I will take care of you. And she goes, and you see her take one of the grubs, squirt it, this green, liquid.
I'm salivating. I'm so ready.
And she puts it down on the counter in front of you. And then she turns for a second, and she comes back, and she's like, "Oh, that'll be 6 little rocks, please."
Okay, I guess I'll reach into my little pouch with my pincers, and then I'll go to just do that little the change cup situation.
Yeah, she pulled it in her hand, and as you put it in her hand, the spikes on your elbow knock the
Of course.
the cannikin down. It spills just all over her apron, and she's just like, "Oh."
I'm I'm super, I'm just like, sorry, looking for any type of thing to like help her wipe that up, like
She's
while
like,
I'm kind of standing there.
It is okay. Just please, it'll be fine. Thank you.
I'm super sad.
And she starts to kind of like look behind you because there's a line growing behind you.
Alright, so then I guess I'll look and be like, alright, catch you later, and just kind of like grab my 2 drips of mud left
Yes,
and
goodbye. And as you move on, you head to the super tunnel dig site. I'm assuming you're just gonna jump in. And start making it work,
I mean,
but
well,
it's up to you.
first I'm all like downtrodden that I messed it up with Kit, so I'm just gonna kind of walk into work like, you know, head kind of low, like, oh damn, and then, yeah, I mean, just jump right into work. So.
Oh, yeah, so you get the pickaxe
away.
out and start picking away. As you're there, there's a buddy of yours. He's been, you know him well enough. You've worked with him for a few years and whatnot. But he's like, hey man, Tita, did you hear about the new super tunnel Her Majesty the Queen is ordering built?
What?
Oh yeah. It's supposed to extend all the way to the nasty Formians territory. Maybe she's planning to attack them.
I'm not gonna say anything, but him saying that, I'm gonna think about him saying like nasty for me and whatever, because I have a friend who is. So I'm just gonna kind of like skip over that and be like, yeah, man, sounds wild. Just kind of like leave it at that and not.
I've been trying to get on that duty, but I guess I'm not good enough.
Pick up the pace cream.
Yeah. So then, the two of you continue to work until that same bell dings again. That's lunchtime.
I'm gonna reach into my pouch and just pop a little edible heading to lunch, so I want to be prepared.
Awesome. Yeah, so you have a lovely lunch. You're sitting with a few of your friends, and then you head back to work, finish out the day, and the evening is yours.
I am going to kind of head home first. I'm probably gross from the day. So I'll go home and kind of freshen up. And I probably have plans with my friend, who I spoke of earlier. So I'm gonna go home, like, shower, whatever that is, and then.
It's like a dust bath.
Just like my swirly dust bath, and then I'll just like grab some stuff and like I'll head out to go visit my friend.
Fantastic. All right. So while you're there, your father, Tisa, is there, and he kind of just waves to you. He's like, Tita.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Gonna go see Zoc.
Oh, you're always going out there.
So?
Well, the family needs you too. You can stay here with us sometimes.
Yeah, later.
Well, I suppose. Have a good time. And as you head out of your house, a group of children, Thry-Creen, come running by, and one of them kind of slams into your leg and like falls onto the ground. He's like, just looking up at you like super scared.
Whoa, Creen! I'll just like reach and kind of like help him back up.
Oh, thanks.
I'm good. And I'm gonna.
He's like, all right. Runs off. You can head to your secret hidden moss patch, but along the way you walk by the beginnings of that new super tunnel. It's similar in location to where your moss patch is, but it's a bit off the beaten path. It's not right there. You can see there's all kinds of equipment still left out there, explosives, whatever it may be to break up the to break up the super tunnel. If you want to investigate anything, or you want to keep moving?
No, I'll just keep moving.
Yeah. All right.
I'll do a quick and then just.
So you head to your favorite moss patch. Well, really the only moss patch that you know of, one that you discovered quite some time ago. And when you arrive, you see your Formian friend, which, for those who aren't aware of what a Formian is, it's a very similar creature. However, you stand on 2 legs and have 4 arms. These stand on 4 legs and have 2 arms. So they're more ant-like. Your friend, Ezaziel, he's sitting there already waiting for you. He's like, hey, Creen, what's going on?
I'm sure we have some sort of cool handshake.
Oh, yes.
So
he just
we're
starts,
gonna
dapping you
Dap
up.
them up
you know.
with the so we're gonna do all that.
Do like the elbows.
Yep,
and- yep, yep.
whatever.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely do all that.
He's like, let me just tell you, I created a new edible. All right. So all right, yeah, I know. You know those, the grubs you squirt into the coffee, the mud and all that.
Yeah.
Well, squirt all that out, all right, and then shove the moss up in there. Oh, delicacy, man. I'm telling you, Cream.
Oh, we never thought of this.
I don't know.
So he's like, well, here. He gives you one to try.
Yes.
And he's like,
Yeah, and I smoothed out a spot for us to chill in if you want.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
so he leads you over the spot, kind of like sits in.
He's like, did you bring your piece?
Always. I mean, when do I go anywhere without Genevieve? And then I'll just reach into my pouch and whip out some cute little purple bong that I made that's adorable. And her name is
Super
Genevieve.
Yeah, let me hit that.
And I'm assuming you're gonna back and forth, just kind
Oh,
of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Let her rip.
Anything-
Literally.
Anything in particular you'd like to talk about? with
Well,
Isak?
of course, I'm gonna talk about the kid. Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, so I definitely messed up today. And I went to order some mud and basically dumped it on Kit. Like, what is wrong with me, dude?
Green, what's up, man?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yo,
I thought I had it, man. I thought I had something going.
do you think you messed the whole thing up?
No, she seemed cool, but I don't know, man.
Alright, well, it's always tomorrow, right?
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about with Isak while you're chilling?
No, I'm just feeling good.
Good couple hours. You guys hang out, chat, smoke, eat some edibles, whatever it may be.
I probably brought snacks.
And then he's like, yeah, I should probably start getting back and whatnot. Like, it's getting kind of late.
Yeah, I already heard it from my dad.
Alright, well, tomorrow?
Same time, same place.
Alright.
He gets up and heads in his direction toward the tunnels to the Formian.
Yeah, I'll pack
camps
up
and
my
whatnot.
accoutrements.
Yeah. And I'm assuming you're starting to head back home?
Yeah, just pack up and head out. Maybe scour the area for a couple of little lumps of moss to fill up the bag, and then we'll start heading out.
Awesome. So on your way out of your little hidden cave area, you start to walk by that super tunnel again.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're walking, you hear an explosive sound, like the dynamite that's used to break up all the rubble and rocks.
What time of the day is this?
This is late. This is after work.
Okay.
There shouldn't be anyone.
So like
working
no
out
one
there.
should we don't have like after hours people. Okay.
No. And you hear, after the explosion goes off, you start to hear like, you look up, and as you do, a cascade of falling rocks just falls directly on you, onto you. And as you're like, to block
Yeah.
yourself, we're now going to jump to the next character. So, we're now jumping to the Feywild, a planet ripe with vegetation and magic. Mystical creatures of all types, such as unicorns, centaurs, and pixies, call its magnificence their home. The Feywild is broken up into 4 seasonal elf cities or encampments, whatever they may be, run by essentially mob bosses, elven mob bosses.
Called the royal family.
The royal family.
Yep.
The spring boss, if you will. And yeah, Plonk, you are working in the main castle, the spring elf capital, and a similar thing happens to you. You are awoken by a dinging bell, and as you wake up, you are sharing a bunk in the main castle with many other servants. There's probably about 10 beds in each servant quarter room. And yeah, as you hear this bell, you begin to awake, and you can see other half-elves, other Verdun, just getting up, starting to put their clothes on, and slowly trickling out to head to the main hall where all of the servants congregate and to get their duties for the day. So, as you're waking up, what would you like to do?
So I don't really jump out of bed because I'm used to the dinging
Mm-hmm.
and everything. I've been there for a little while. I should be used to it. I just kind of like roll over and I'm like, oh, another day. Here we go. And I just kind of, I turn and I look around the room, see everybody's already, the majority of them are already getting up and going and everything, so I reluctantly just kind of.
You start to kind of roll out of bed, and you can hear Norak, the one of the elderly Verdun matrons. She's like, "Oh dear, you must hurry. We all need to get there now."
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I grab all my stuff quickly, my little pack that I always take with me everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Not like a backpack, but like a little.
Well, yeah, that was
a little belt.
If that was the pack that your mother told you always keep on
Mhm.
you just
Yep.
in case any emergency were to happen. Yeah, so that, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, you head into the hall and start heading down. Now the hall is gorgeous because one side of it is doors to other rooms, and the other side is just it's open to the expanse of the city, and it is absolutely a gorgeous view from this level of the castle. But yeah, you can begin to head down the hallway to the servant quarters, and you pass by a few soldiers as you go, and whatnot. But yeah, you head there, and as you enter the room, there's a group of probably 30 or so servants that are all kind of congregating and gathering. And Norak gets up in front of everyone, and she's like, "Okay, we have many duties today. We will meet a few people in the kitchen, as there will be a great feast this evening. The Shirik Primavera will be entertaining guests this evening. So we need to make sure that the library is clean, as well as the halls and the dining hall. Would anyone like to volunteer for any of these jobs?" "Oh, yes, Blanc."
I would like to volunteer for the library.
Easy job, of course. You can certainly have that one. If you'd like, you can head out now. There's a lot of dusting to do in there.
I look at my friends on either side of me in like the group, and I'm like, "Hi guys."
They're like, "Hey, how are you?" Yes. So yeah, there's a couple half elves that are the other matrons in charge. Yes, and they start handing out all the other jobs to the other servants, and you can head on your way to the library if you'd like. All right. So yeah, you pass through a few hallways, again, passing by guards as you go, and you eventually make your way to the Eastern Tower, where you will find the library, and next to it is the Spring Boss's office as well. But yeah, you enter into the library. Now that you're in there, what would you like to do?
I'm going to take my little duster thing and just kind of like start dusting around on all the books, and I go over to the wall that is on the other side of
the adjacent wall to okay.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah, no.
The adjacent wall to the office, and I just kind of put my head up to it to see if I can hear anything, or to see if there's anybody in there or anything like that.
Yeah. Make a perception check.
18.
Pretty sure it's minus.
Yep, 18 minus 1,
Yeah.
17.
17. Still, not bad. I gotta say,
Yeah,
not bad at all.
not bad.
That's the roll of the live stream.
Yeah, 18 for the first roll, fantastic. So yeah, you kind of put your ear to the wall, and you kind of cup your hands to kind of give you a little bit more sound there. And at the moment, you hear nothing.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to be anyone in the office.
Okay. Good.
So what would you like to do?
I'm going to kind of slowly just kind of like move things around so it sounds like I'm actually doing something
Yeah.
in the room and everything. And then I'm gonna slowly walk. I'm gonna like creep towards the front of the door of the room and
Mhm.
like and kind of poke my head out of the door and like check both sides.
Yeah. So you pop your head out, and it's just one continuous hallway, easy to check both directions. You do not see anyone at the moment.
Okay. So I'm going to I'm gonna quickly like slide in.
Yep.
Slide into the
Slink. I like to use the word
Yep.
slink right into
Just
the room
like-
next door. Yeah,
slide
absolutely.
over.
And as you step inside, you're immediately greeted with a sitting area on the right-hand side.
Okay.
There's a small table in the center that has a cordial with some type of liquor inside, a bunch of small glasses as well. There are a couple bookcases. Not so many books since the library is right next door, but there are different knickknacks and artifacts and images and like
Mhm.
paintings and such that are kind of hanging on there. Straight ahead is a massive wooden desk with 2 chairs in front and a large chair behind it. There's different accoutrement all around, but yeah, what would you like to do? There are also a couple windows on the far side.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to as quiet as I can, very stealthily, like tiptoe over towards the desk area and right next to the desk, or I'm gonna look at the knickknacks that are on top of the desk, see if I can put anything under anything. Is there anything that I could
Okay.
pick up and like, or like a picture frame on like one of the shelves close to the desk or anything?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different things that you could potentially put it under. There's a few drawers in the desk. There, like I said, there's a couple decorative items on the table. There's this interesting bell-looking thing as well that it looks like it could be wide enough to put the size ball that you have underneath it. And like I said, there's plenty of paintings that you could try to stick something behind on the shelves nearby.
Okay. So on the shelf there's like something that's right there. I'm going to look around and then take the little orb
Mhm.
that I have and stick it behind it. I notice that it's nothing important, so it's nothing that's going to be moved or anything like that. So I stick it behind it real quick and then scurry back towards the door to go back into the library.
Awesome. So you head back in there, and what would just kind of dusting still?
Yeah, dusting close to the wall still so that I could like hear if anybody's in there talking or anything like that. Just kind of like, it's almost like when you work at a job and
Yeah.
it's like, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean, and you're just sitting there like up against the wall just going pretending to like clean like just the air.
Yeah.
Just like like your like friend walks by and you're like dusting them like as they walk by.
Well, while you're doing that, with the perception check you had earlier, you can hear one of the door for the office close.
Okay.
Then you put your ear up and you can kind of hear a few different voices inside.
Okay.
For this, I would like another perception check to see how much you can make out from their speaking.
Nat 20.
Ooh, what nice rolls to start off. So the group of them, eventually you can hear them kind of sit down, you can hear the clinking of glasses and whatnot, and seem to be pouring out some of that liquor. And you hear the spring boss, Shirik Primavera. He's like,
Oh yes, you know that autumn boss there, Rowan Atuno, is giving us some more issues. It might be time to pay him a little visit.
you hear one of the other guys in the room, one of his minions, if you will.
Hey boss, whatever you need us to do, we'll take care of it, no problem.
Naturally.
And they start to go into an intricate plan on how they're going to infiltrate the autumn boss's castle and whatnot, and potentially assassinate him. So you can definitely keep that information in the back of your mind.
So as I hear that, I'm just kind of like, like gasping as like they say something
Each
else.
new
And-
piece of
like,
information.
and I'm
Oh!
like, and I'm like, oh my god, this is gold. Like, this is great.
She basically hyperventilates because
Yeah.
she laughed so many times in a row.
All right, so after maybe an hour or so, their meeting concludes, and they seem to all head out of the room and kind of maybe head to the dining hall. You're not really sure, but they do leave the room. Now, what would you like to do?
Do I have like a little like cart or anything that I'm like pushing? Or
Well,
like
you
or
are
like
cleaning. I would say-
picking up bags of like the trash and stuff like that.
I would say you don't necessarily have a cart per se, but you
Okay.
probably have like one of those. I don't really know what they're called, but it's kind of like a bucket with a handle, and it's got like two side
Oh, right.
like
Okay.
pouches, if you will, and it's got all cleaning supplies and whatever
Okay.
else that you need in it. Yeah.
So I take my bucket and everything, and I start to walk out. Again, I don't really have to peek around the corner when I walk out because I'm like done with that
yeah,
room.
you're
I'm
meant
just
to be
cleaning.
right.
Yeah, so I'm meant to be there and everything. I notice that there's nobody around.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of put my bucket down on the corner of the door to the library, not the office.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like I'm still like just grabbing something in the library
Like
and then I'm heading
like
out.
housekeeping, where they leave the thing outside
Yeah.
the room, and yeah.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
I'm gonna put it down there, and then I'm going to peek into the room to make sure that there's nobody in there.
Mm. Yeah, you peek in. No one
Yeah.
inside.
So I'm going to, again, now I'm gonna like quickly like, still on my tippy toes.
Mm.
I'm gonna be like, don't get caught, don't get caught, don't get caught, and like run as fast as I can on my tippy toes to the bookshelf, and I grab the little orb and immediately put it in my pack,
Okay.
and then run back to the door, just going in my head, just don't get caught, don't get caught, don't get caught.
Yeah, you open the door quick, and right in front of you is a guard,
Okay.
and he's like, "What are you doing in there?"
Just checking the trash, making sure I was cleaning the library. Saw that they were in here earlier, so I decided to see any dirty items, take them.
Need a deception check.
Great.
3.
I was like this. She was like, oh.
7 minus 1. That's a 6.
The guard is like, "All right, well, no one is meant to be in here, so
Oh wait, did you say persuasion or
deception."
Oh, deception. Sorry, that will be. I rolled a 7 plus 3.
Okay, 10.
So 10.
Ooh. Nothing changes in his response.
Great.
Great.
He says, "Well, no one is meant to be in here besides the boss, so please get out."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As he was leaving, he looked at me and he said, check the trash.
He kind of eyes you up and down. He's like,
Bye now.
And you grab your little thing, head off, I'm sure, real quick.
Mhm,
All right.
mhm. Again, still in my head going, don't get caught, don't get caught, don't get caught.
Cool. What's that? All right, yeah. So that's So you head back to the quarters, or where would you like to go now?
I'm gonna go. What time is it?
I would say after all this, it's probably getting close to noon.
Okay.
After all of this,
Okay.
up to you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
You
going
know
to.
that your informant kind of hangs out
Okay.
most of the days, waiting on information. So
I'm
it's
gonna-
possible they're there.
I'm gonna go back to the front
Mhm.
to Norak,
Mhm.
and ask her if there, say, is there anything else for me to do?
I think we're actually good this evening. The dining hall is ready, and the kitchen is well staffed. How's the library?
Clean as can be.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Plum. And yeah, she leaves you to your business.
So I'm gonna go into my room
Mhm.
and grab just about all of my things, and yeah, put everything on, all of my stuff, and I head to my meeting place.
All right. Yeah. So you walk through the city. It takes you a decent amount of time, but it is a beautiful, sprawling elven city. Beautiful white stone with elegant green filigree design up all of the towers and the buildings. It's a sight to see, and you get to see it every day from the balcony. It's absolutely gorgeous. As you start to head through the streets, you make your way down to the eastern gate, and then out through the gate to the wooded area beyond.
Okay.
As you are moving, you head to the meeting spot with, let me see, we have his name here. Oh, we don't actually have a name for him, huh?
No, I don't know his name.
Oh, that's right.
I just know what he looks like.
Well, you head to your elven friend, if you will, and you see him. He's kind of hanging out by the trees, kind of hidden amongst the foliage. He's got a dark brown leather armor and cloak on with a hood pulled way up, but you can still see a bit of the reddish orange, just frizzy hair that's coming out. And he's quite odd in the fact that he has slightly pink skin as well, and that's not usually the case for an elf. But yeah, you head to him there, and he's like, "Hey, Plunk, what you got for me today?"
Hey, and I look
Make a
around.
perception check.
The face is so
5 minus 1.
Yeah, so you kind of take a peek over your shoulder, look around in the forest. You don't see anything besides your elven ally, and then you can hear the chirping of birds, and you might see a mouse scurry by, but nothing else.
Okay, so I slowly I nonchalantly reach into my pack and grab the orb, and I go, "They wanted me to give you this." And
He reaches out his hand, and as you put it in the hand, you hear, "There she is! That's the spy!" And there are 4 guards that come around the trees, aiming crossbows at you, and like a firing squad, they all fire. And you instinctively put your hands up,
yeah,
and that's where we're going to move on to the next player. Vidalk.
so intense.
Vidalk is quite the odd planet, to say the least. Most planets spin or rotate on an invisible axis. Vidalk does not. The planet intersects with the impossible depths, the water extension of the elemental chaos. It acts like a water wheel propelling the planet into rotation. So there are sections of the planet that never see water, and then the rest of it sees it upon rotation. So that's where we're going to begin with Ezaziel. Zaxa, you are currently at Zirathru City Ruins. And this is a place that you believe will house information or some sort of way to traverse the impossible depths, which no one from Vidalk has ever done.
That's right.
You are woken up from your slumber by a Zaxa. Zaxa, are you awake?
Well, I am now.
Well, good. Get up. We have a lot of work to do today. And you hear your tent zip open. And standing right in front of you is your good friend from the academy back when you were still younger. Now that you're 100 years old, it's,
Back in the day.
back in the day. Which, by the way, was a Wednesday.
Yes,
Just
yes,
so you're aware.
yes.
But
he was wearing pink.
you also see another figure standing beside Budila. This is Zixat. He was more of a rival in the academy, but in no way are you enemies. It was more of like competition. And yeah, he's just standing there, arms crossed. He's like, any day now, Zaxa.
Calm down, Zixat. I'm getting up.
Good. Now, Budila, please, let's head to the opening. We're going to leave you here, Zaxa. We would like to get down there sooner than later.
very well. Just don't take all the credit for yourself.
Well, can't promise that. And you see Vidila and Zixat start to head to the opening for the rune that you have started to dig down to. Now Vidila has almost like a violety skin. It's like a bright blue, but has purple tones to it. And she's in excavation clothes. She's got like the Indiana Jones style clothing going on.
Okay.
And at the same time, Zixat is kind of the opposite. He's got robes. He doesn't look like he's ready to trek through anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, the two of them head away from you. What would you like to do?
Well, I will gather my things, my robes, my lab coat, my book, my other book, and my backup book.
Oh, good.
Cannot forget that.
How about the journal?
That's the backup book.
Oh,
the journal, yeah. Actually, no. The journal is the second book. I really should number them. It's fine. Anyway, I gather all my things.
Good.
And I will head out of my tent.
Perfect. So yeah, you leave your tent and you have to kind of navigate through a sea of tents, as they're not just the three of you. There are plenty of workers here. You need a lot of help to dig that far down underground. There are a few tools that they have that help to drill, but for the most part, your people are just digging down.
Yeah.
So you head over to the hole, and you can already see the rope is kind of shaking. It looks as though someone is on their way down. Vidila is still at the top of the hole. She's like, "Oh, Zaxa, that was much quicker than I expected."
Zigzag couldn't wait a few seconds for me, could he?
He's not known for his patience. But it seems he's almost down there at this point. Would you like to go next, or shall I?
You better go next. You've always been a little more adorable than I.
Very well. And a few moments pass, and the rope becomes slack and loose, and the workers begin to pull the pulley system back up to the top of the hole. Vidila is strapped in, and she starts to head down. You've been down here before. You know it is probably a quarter mile deep into the earth and the rock and the sediment. And besides the little bit of light, which there isn't a lot because you're currently on the side of the planet where there is no sun at the moment,
Okay.
the very little bit of light from the torches that they have kind of overhanging the hole give you a bit of a glow for some time, but as you continue down, it gets darker and darker and darker until it's pitch black and you cannot see a thing.
Perfect.
After about 5 minutes or so of being lowered down there, you begin to see specks of light down below. And as you slowly approach and your feet hit the ground, you can see Vidila waiting for you there, as well as Zixat, and they're holding a couple torches. And then other workers are already down there. You can see them starting to carry pickaxes, the drilling unit that I was telling you about, and they're kind of heading in two separate directions, one to the south and one to the east. There's a couple tunnels that they're currently excavating, and then off to the northern part of the chamber you're in currently, which is about 40 by 20 feet.
Okay.
There is a small extension that leads to another room that you have been excavating. There's weird symbols on the walls that none of you have been able to translate as of now. But yeah, what would you like to do?
So the south and the east, you said, are where they're...
Two tunnels where they're continuing to excavate and build the tunnels longer and deeper.
Okay. I'll probably stay out of their way. I want to go back to that room with those symbols.
All right, and Zixat and Vidila are like, Vidila's like, well, I might as well head to the southern excavation site, and I'll keep an eye on that. And if you're heading to the chamber, then Zixat, you might as well go to the east. And he's like, very well, I suppose I will do that. And he heads off, and the two of them kind of split from you and head off. You head to the chamber. This chamber is a bit smaller. It's about 15 by 20.
Okay.
And yeah, there's odd symbols just all over the walls. Nothing you've ever seen before.
I'd like to start drawing them. I need to
Absolutely.
take documentation of these.
Yeah, so you come up to one of the walls and you start scribing the images that you see there. And as you start to work your way down the wall, you hear like a... And as that happens, the floor just collapses out from under you.
Ah!
You suffer 2 points of bludgeoning damage
Oh.
as you land uncomfortably on a pile of rocks below. The torch that you had has gone out. You are currently sitting in pitch black, about 20 feet up from the hole that you fell through.
I keep telling them we've got to make some kind of automatic torch. Banging it against my hand.
So you're just like laying in these rocks. And I don't know, would you like to do anything while you're down there in the pitch black, or?
Well, I need to get this torch lit, but I don't think I have any flint and steel.
If you want, you can start searching through the pack.
Yeah, I'll try and
Not
feel my way around.
Not 2 minutes later or so, Budila comes running up with her torch, and she's looking at you. She's like, "Oh, Zaxa, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Here, take this torch. I'm gonna go get some ropes."
Perfect.
And she tosses the torch down to you,
Oh, that's
and she runs off.
Don't drop it.
let me roll to catch that. Let's see what happens here. What am I rolling with? 'Cause I rolled a 7,
Dexterity.
so that's a 6.
You just extend your hand out, and the torch just falls right next to it, hits the ground. It does not go out, but
Keep telling me we need to make some kind of automatic torch catching system. I'll pick up the torch from the ground.
Alright, and as you do, it kind of illuminates the area you're in. And it's a pretty small room, about, I would say probably 20 by 20, kind of a
Okay.
squared off area. And ahead of you, you can see that there is a pedestal in the center of the room. And on it there seems to be some type of gem just sitting right in the center there. But as you're kind of looking that way, actually, give me a perception check.
Let's roll this one. That was a mistake. That is a 6 plus 1 is 7.
Oh, all right.
Improving slowly.
So as you start to move forward, you see something odd kind of off to the side, and you kind of curve around this pedestal to take a peek at it. But as you do, your foot hits a small tripwire, and you hear the ceiling kind of loose behind you, and you see this large slab just come swinging down and knock you forward. And as you go forward, the ground opens up into a very small 5 by 10 chamber, which you fall into.
Ugh.
Again, that's not the sound.
As
you
I'm
make.
falling, again!
The chamber that opens to allow you to fall in immediately closes. And without the torch, you would be in pitch black, but you have the torch. And your fall was kind of, what's the word I'm trying to cushioned
Okay.
by something kind of hard and bony and whatnot. And as you kind of as you kind of use the torch to look around, you see that it's a couple dead bodies. One of them is in bright blue robes with a satchel over his shoulder, and there's a book clutched in one hand. And then there's another this figure. This skeleton doesn't look Vidalcan. There are holes in the side of the skull for ears, which Vidalcans don't have.
Yes.
And they're a bit shorter than what you would see for a Vidalcan as well. But
Strange.
you see that book, you see that bag. What would you like to do?
I'll grab the book. And I'm very interested in that.
Yeah. What you didn't realize while you fell in there is there's this slight sound, and after you start gathering things, are you taking anything else or just the book?
I'll grab the book. That is the first thing. I guess I'll also look through the satchel, see if there's anything of use in there.
Yeah, you open the satchel and it's just pitch black inside. You stick your hand into it and it just seems to extend into the bag.
I will take this back for further investigation. investigation.
Alright, so you take the bag, throw it over your shoulder, you maybe start flipping through the book or whatever.
Yes.
And then you start to, the air seems staler or more acidic almost. And you kind of look around using the torch and you can see multiple holes in this chamber that are just spewing some type of yellow noxious gas into the chamber.
Well, that explains the bones.
The chamber is sealed and the smoke or this gas is filling the chamber. It is getting to the point where you cannot breathe and you begin to choke. You fall to your knees and then to your side, laying there in the fetal position. And that's where we're going to jump back to Minerva and Zenesi. Actually, that is not the case. I have one more thing to describe before we jump back to that. We're going to jump to one final character. And this particular character is a unicorn. This unicorn is seen on a desolate landscape in a massive battle where there are mystical creatures and humanoids on one side, and vicious beasts, and large humanoid creatures with rippling muscles, and dragons, and other terrifying creatures on the opposite side, and a massive war is waging. Allies of the unicorn and the other mystical creatures are falling left and right, and the unicorn, you can see, is rushing up and touching each one of them with its horn, restoring life to them. This particular unicorn on the far side of the battlefield sees one of its lieutenants go down, and it starts charging toward his fallen comrade. As he does, he gets over there, lowers his head to touch his horn to this lieutenant, but what the unicorn does not notice is there is a massive ogre coming up behind with 2 giant great axes, which he brings up and starts to bring right down toward this unicorn. And now, we're going to jump back to Minerva and Zenesi. Now, Minerva and Zenesi, you have been working at this machine to extract people who are meant to expire. And at this point, Zenesi, with her great accuracy, is able to pull one into your location. You see a golden caracused thrycrean begin to materialize in the center of the room, right near, kind of off to the side of the two of you. As this thrycrean comes into focus, you see he's like blocking, like about to try to block something falling upon them. And for a few moments, they're still. What would you like to do, Minerva?
Do I have the...
You do.
Okay, alright. What does it look like?
It's a small circular disc that has like a small pin on the end, almost like a tack.
Okay.
You
Oh,
just
so
kinda
it's just... Okay.
jam it in.
Alright, so... Yeah, I'm just...
I'll just stay like this forever.
I'm just gonna go, like wordlessly, I'm just gonna go right up, like, kneel down and just, like, the pin
Jam.
to
So,
the back of your neck.
like, Tita, it's not too painful. It's like a sting.
I'm still gonna
almost.
be like, yes!
She definitely does it a little bit harder than she needs to, though, because she's never done this before, and she's like, oh, I gotta make sure it's in there.
So you get the sharp stinging pain in the back of your neck.
Great.
But as you're your body's loosening and the whole person is starting to fade away, the language that you could hear the two of them speaking sounded odd. Like you couldn't understand any of what they were saying. However, once this pin was jammed into the back of your neck, a few moments you start to hear the words that they're saying focus into your mind, and you can almost see the words in your own language. And as this is happening, another creature begins to materialize.
What do I hear them saying, or is that unimportant?
Oh,
No,
yeah. I
I
would say
feel
it's
like
unimportant.
Minerva's
It's up to
probably,
you.
like, she's definitely saying, like, relax, you're going to get control of your muscles again shortly. We will
I mean, I'm
explain what's
still
going
probably
on.
just gonna be like, what the fuck, Green? Like, I'm just gonna be like,
Just relax, okay?
Right
You're not
next to
dead.
you, Tita, you begin to see another humanoid form materializing. And you see a light purplish skin going from down below and kind of materializing upwards into brown shorts and a vest, and then up
my
to...
huge eyes are gonna like blink, and I'm gonna be like, what? Like, am I really seeing that?
Purple face, and then grows up into a big mop of green curly hair. And Plunk, the same situation happens. You are under the hold person spell, Minerva.
Yeah, so she's just gonna stand up, pull out another one of the things from her pocket probably, and just
Jam it in the back of your neck. You feel that sharp sting. And then anyone who's speaking, you can understand what they're saying, even though they're not the same race as you and don't speak the same language.
Zanesi, how much more do we have? Is it 2?
Yeah, I think it's like 2 more.
Okay, good.
Not now. If the two of you want to start saying anything, by all means, your whole
More,
person wears
more,
off
what?
as well.
More people who are about to expire. I will explain it in 1 minute when everyone else is here.
I'm just gonna like scratch and be like just totally bewildered, basically.
As Minerva does say that, though, a third form begins to materialize, maybe about 5 feet from the two of you. Bluish gray skin, and what are you wearing right now? Because you're not in the robe yet, obviously.
Definitely the lab coat.
Okay.
Probably some kind of robes.
Alright,
not necessarily those particular robes.
Oh, yeah, so you have like a lower robe type situation going on with the,
Am I still in the fetal position on the ground?
Yes, you are. When you materialize,
Good.
this 6'2", I think, figure?
Yes.
The 6'2" figure is huddled in the fetal position, like.
Oh, I'm sorry. 6'3".
Oh, 6'3".
What's
Alright.
wrong with this?
But yes,
guy?
Minerva, your third person shows up.
Alright, she's gonna walk over and just breathe.
Just
Minerva,
breathe.
I mean, Zoxy, you
I'm
feel
already
this
in
sting.
pain. You can't see that.
You feel this sting, and it's, for you that it hurts. But
1 point it didn't.
you start to understand all the words being said around you when you didn't before.
What have you done to me?
You're not in danger. Just hang on 1 second.
I think I'll be the judge of that.
One more person needs to show up. We will explain. But you're not in danger. You're not dead. You're fine.
That's what she told us.
Do I have my pouch on me?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm definitely eating an edible. Cause I'm like, so like, what is going on? I'm just gonna like sit back, watch, and just like.
Very interesting situation you found yourself in. Now,
just,
as
like,
all
I
of you
immediately
are,
start taking notes on everything.
as all of you are in a circular type situation, kind of looking at each other, right in the center, the fourth and final creature begins to materialize. This one seems to materialize a bit faster than the others, but when it does, 3 chunks of this unicorn creature just slop off and blood sprays all over all of you. The 3 pieces just to the ground, and it is not what you were expecting, Minerva.
My bad.
That. What happened?
We might have been a little bit too late on that one. Whoops.
And with that, we're going to go on a 13-minute break.
Okay.
What do you want to know about me exactly? My name is Minerva, I come from the planet Isgard, and I'm very good at finding things. That's about it. Alright, fine. I'll explain a little bit more. I'm not necessarily a bounty hunter, but I do travel across the galaxy in pursuit of different targets. The galaxy's a very big place. There are many wondrous things, of course, but with the good, sometimes comes the bad. I eliminate the bad before it becomes a larger problem. I work for an organization called the Galactic Utility Intelligence Logistics Task Force, also known as GILT. Great name, huh? We're a rather undercover group, inconspicuously keeping watch over the many planets, pinpointing any threats that may arise and disrupt the safety of civilians. The majority of GILT is essentially a surveillance system that relays information back to our leader. However, when a threat to the people does arise, be it an angry monstrosity or an ancient fiend, that's when my team intervenes. We are a subset of GILT, known as the Special Protection Investigative Tactical Exploration Team, or the SPITE team for short. There are 6 ASMR on this team, including myself, each one of us with a different skill set. I contribute the ability to track down our target once we're in its proximity. I'm not bad with a blade or two either. Working with the team is alright. I wouldn't call all of them friends, but they are the people I'm closest to. Whenever we're not investigating a galactic threat, we're most likely just passing time on our starship. For me, this mostly means I'm in our training room, running through various simulations to keep my skills in good condition. I do enjoy a good game of cards every now and then. However, for some reason I'm always quite bad at trivia night.
So, I guess I'm supposed to be like, talking about myself or whatever. I mean, I don't know, Green, I'm pretty boring. All I do is work and blow glass pipes. I need all that, and I smoke a ton of moss in my off hours. Pretty much working all the time, though. Come from a long line of vaders. That means excavators. My family has worked for the DEEP organization for like hundreds of aeons. I should probably tell you what the hell that is, huh? DEEP stands for the Discovery, Excavation, and Expansion of Pandemonium Passageways. We're a little more progressive than those other vaders, the Thry-Green hierarchy of excavation mining. No one wants to work for them, Green. Throwing pieces of drenin. Sorry, I shouldn't be swearing, Green. Alright, back to my job. So, I'm pretty good at it. Kinda hard not to be when you're basically bred for it. Got my great-granddad T-Sip's pickaxe right here. Probably wouldn't think by looking at me, but I'm a little quicker than most. Even got promoted to work dust detail. That's the development of underground super tunnels. I know, far out, right? One time I got off draft Green, came out this crazy McMoss patch. Totally wild. Met this Thornian. Thries and Fords don't usually vibe Green. I dig him though. We grew close. He's the Dren. The real Frelling Dren.
Growing up, I lived in a small clan of Verdun. My ancestors were goblins who left their planet to live amongst elven communities. The relocation was hard for them. It took a while getting used to their new planet, but once they got the hang of farming, it was all uphill from there. I was never as good of a farmer as they were, though. All I wanted to do was play. Hide and seek or squink. It's kind of like capture the funk. Those are my favorite. I love the adrenaline I get from a good hunt. Waking up to your farmhouse engulfed in flames in the middle of the night, all you can do is run. When my village of Vendrocktow was destroyed by a swarm of ravenous pixies, I had no idea if I would even survive. Racing out of the smoke-filled home I grew up in, I ran straight to the barn. Mama always told me to keep a pack of supplies ready, in case anything happened. Just grab your pack and go, she'd always say. So I did, and a good thing that I did too. Disappearing quickly was what saved my life. Since then, I've lost all contact with my family. I don't even know if they're alive. The small group of us that got out went to live in the closest elven village, Mithrandane. This is my home now, and I have to say, it was tough getting accustomed to the way of life here. They're not a farming community, so it was hard to find work. I didn't know what I was good at. I thought back to my childhood in Vendrocktow, and what I enjoyed back then. Then it hit me. I love the thrill of the chase. I can do that. Becoming a spy is the best thing that's ever happened to me. But I have to say, it's a little bittersweet. Working for the great leaders doing a job I love is like a dream come true. I couldn't be happier. But I'm only able to do so because of the misfortune of my village. I'm hoping my hard work will make my ancestors proud.
Cycle 12. Strange-looking creatures appeared today in the North City Square. These aliens called themselves elves. Their pointy ears and flowing hair intrigue me. They speak of different lands, impossible lands. Those without water, or those filled with fantastic creatures. I must learn more about them. Cycle 39. For the last 27 solar cycles, my people have attempted to duplicate the effects the aliens displayed, but to no avail. I reach my 40th cycle soon. I will finally be able to lead my own studies. Cycle 66. My people have now resorted to building their own way to travel to other planets, without the aliens' odd tricks. The technology is still cycles out of our reach, but I believe there are other ways off this planet. The impossible depths have never been mapped. Cycle 100. My excavation begins today at the Zirathu City ruins. I have managed to rope in both Vudila and Zixat to my hypothesis. I know I will find answers there. The secret of getting through the impossible depths to an unknown place. Not even the elves know what lies beyond.
What do you want to know about me exactly? My name is Minerva, I come from the planet Ezaziel, and I'm very good at finding things. That's about it. Alright, fine. I'll explain a little bit more. I'm not necessarily a bounty hunter, but I do travel across the galaxy in pursuit of different targets. The galaxy's a very big place. There are many wondrous things, of course, but with the good, sometimes comes the bad. I eliminate the bad before it becomes a larger problem. I work for an organization called the Galactic Utility Intelligence Logistics Task Force, also known as GILT. Great name, huh? We're a rather undercover group, inconspicuously keeping watch over the many planets, pinpointing any threats that may arise and disrupt the safety of civilians. The majority of GILT is essentially a surveillance system that relays information back to our leader. However, when a threat to the people does arise, be it an angry monstrosity or an ancient fiend, that's when my team intervenes. We are a subset of GILT, known as the Special Protection Investigative Tactical Exploration Team, or the SPITE team for short. There are 6 ASMR on this team, including myself, each one of us with a different skill set. I contribute the ability to track down our target once we're in its proximity. I'm not bad with a blade or two either. Working with the team is alright. I wouldn't call all of them friends, but they are the people I'm closest to. Whenever we're not investigating a galactic threat, we're most likely just passing time on our starship. For me, this mostly means I'm in our training room, running through various simulations to keep my skills in good condition. I do enjoy a good game of cards every now and then. However, for some reason I'm always quite bad at trivia night.
So, I guess I'm supposed to be like, talking about myself or whatever. I mean, I don't know, Green, I'm pretty boring. All I do is work and blow glass pipes. I need all that, and I smoke a ton of moss in my off hours. Pretty much working all the time, though. Come from a long line of vaders. That means excavators. My family has worked for the DEEP organization for like hundreds of aeons. I should probably tell you what the hell that is, huh? DEEP stands for the Discovery, Excavation, and Expansion of Pandemonium Passageways. We're a little more progressive than those other vaders, the Thry-Green hierarchy of excavation mining. No one wants to work for them, Green. Throwing pieces of drenin. Sorry, shouldn't be swearing, Green. Alright, back to my job. So, I'm pretty good at it. Kinda hard not to be when you're basically bred for it. Got my great-granddad T6 pickaxe right here. Probably wouldn't think by looking at me, but I'm a little quicker than most. Even got promoted to work dust detail. That's the development of underground super tunnels. I know, far out, right? One time I got off draft Green, came out this crazy McMoss patch. Totally wild. Met this Florian. Thries and Foids don't usually vibe Green. I dig him though. We grew close. He's the Dren. The real Frelling Dren.
Growing up, I lived in a small clan of Verdun. My ancestors were goblins who left their planet to live amongst elven communities. The relocation was hard for them. It took a while getting used to their new planet, but once they got the hang of farming, it was all uphill from there. I was never as good of a farmer as they were, though. All I wanted to do was play. Hide and seek or squink. It's kind of like capture the funk. Those are my favorite. I love the adrenaline I get from a good hunt. Waking up to your farmhouse engulfed in flames in the middle of the night, all you can do is run. When my village of Vendrocktow was destroyed by a swarm of ravenous pixies, I had no idea if I would even survive. Racing out of the smoke-filled home I grew up in, I ran straight to the barn. Mama always told me to keep a pack of supplies ready, in case anything happened. Just grab your pack and go, she'd always say. So I did, and a good thing that I did too. Disappearing quickly was what saved my life. Since then, I've lost all contact with my family. I don't even know if they're alive. The small group of us that got out went to live in the closest elven village, Mithrandane. This is my home now, and I have to say, it was tough getting accustomed to the way of life here. They're not a farming community, so it was hard to find work. I didn't know what I was good at. I thought back to my childhood in Vendrocktow, and what I enjoyed back then. Then it hit me. I love the thrill of the chase. I can do that. Becoming a spy is the best thing that's ever happened to me. But I have to say, it's a little bittersweet. Working for the great leaders doing a job I love is like a dream come true. I couldn't be happier. But I'm only able to do so because of the misfortune of my village. I'm hoping my hard work will make my ancestors proud.
Cycle 12. Strange-looking creatures appeared today in the North City Square. These aliens called themselves elves. Their pointy ears and flowing hair intrigue me. They speak of different lands, impossible lands. Those without water, or those filled with fantastic creatures. I must learn more about them. Cycle 39. For the last 27 solar cycles, my people have attempted to duplicate the effects the aliens displayed, but to no avail. I reach my 40th cycle soon. I will finally be able to lead my own studies. Cycle 66. My people have now resorted to building their own way to travel to other planets, without the aliens' odd tricks. The technology is still cycles out of our reach, but I believe there are other ways off this planet. The impossible depths have never been mapped. Cycle 100. My excavation begins today at the Zirathu City ruins. I have managed to rope in both Vudila and Zixat to my hypothesis. I know I will find answers there. The secret of getting through the impossible depths to an unknown place. Not even the elves know what lies beyond.
And welcome back. So I believe we're going to just jump right back into the scene we were in before with the entirety of this new party. I will turn it over to the players.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry about that. Well, that was my job. See you guys later. Good luck.
But there's still the unicorn chunks. I don't know what to do about that.
Who's going to clean this up?
Do you have a vial of some sorts?
Probably.
As you are in the lab, that is probably the case.
Yeah, there's probably some over there. In terms of the unicorn chunks, I mean, we do have a toilet.
Get the Helen to do that. I don't want to do it.
I'm sure he'd love to.
I know. Tell him it's a gift from me.
And
I'm gonna run over and grab a vial off of a shelf.
Sure.
And run to the unicorn and take some of its blood.
Okay, yeah.
What
Up a
the
vial of blood.
frell is going on here?
So,
Sorry, this could come in handy later.
very resourceful. But if you would like to listen to the question that this one just asked over here. Basically, there's a mission that you're all supposed to be on at the moment. You were each pulled from the second before you were about to expire. You should be dead right now. You're on borrowed time at the moment.
Wait, what?
We intervened before that could happen. You are right now aboard the Halo ship. It belongs to a group of 6 ASMR who work with the Galactic Utility Intelligence Logistics Task Force. We act as sort of a surveillance system around the galaxy, keeping an eye on any threats that are happening. And I was tasked to assemble a team to investigate something that has recently come up on our radar. And well, we decided to pull the 3 of you, regrettably not 4.
I mean, to do what?
We can explain that on the way. I understand if you may have hesitations about doing this, but I do want to assure you that if you choose to go back, you will be dead within 24 hours. This is the only way that you could have escaped the inevitability of your death happening today.
Where are we right now?
Which system are we in?
You are in the steam system, which is the Celestial, and you are fairly close to Isgard at the moment.
Okay, yeah. We are in the Steam solar system at the moment. It's home to many celestial creatures, and right now we are near the planet of Isgard. We're very far out in space. Now, if you'll all follow me, I can show you to where we're going to be boarding our ship. We'll be on our way, and I can explain a little bit more detail once we're actually moving, because this may be time sensitive.
So, where are we going?
Somewhere even farther. I can explain that once we're moving.
Okay.
Well,
Unless, of course, you want to go back to the timeline in which you died.
Oh, no.
I guess lead the way.
Thank you. She just turns and walks. She's not going to bother with the unicorn.
Yeah. So you can, if you'd like, you can head straight to the cargo bay where your new, well,
Our new ride.
your new but not really
Yeah,
new ride
your
is awaiting you.
decommissioned ride.
New use.
Yeah, new use.
When
Yes.
you get that
Refurbished. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that where you'd like to head there?
Absolutely.
All right. So you get to the cargo bay and the large gate-like doors, and inside you see another ASMR, similar to you and Zanesi and the rest of the team on the ship. He has like copper hair with copper eyes, roughly, I'd say 5'8" or so, and he is in like a full officer's uniform. He's like, "Captain."
You. Ezaziel sent you?
He did.
Wonderful.
I'm
And you're
Kubrick.
the crew.
I will be your pilot.
Fantastic. My name is Minerva. This is the rest of the crew. We're ready to
Hello,
leave.
rest of the crew.
Zaxa.
It's an eclectic bunch.
Yeah, well, these were the ones that were going to die today, so.
Ah, that makes sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't at all.
Well, maybe not to you, but to us, sure. I will be in the cockpit. Let me know when everyone's aboard, and we can start heading out.
Great.
Very good. And he heads up to the cockpit. As you begin to board, let me grab my notes on the ship. As you begin to board, you enter through the engine room, which is the back of the ship, and you head down a thin hallway where there's a door on either side. Obviously, you have not even been in the ship. You have no idea what these are like. But you are aware that this is an older, decommissioned gunship, and yeah.
AKA the gun.
AKA the gun. Gun 792, I believe, is your number that is painted on the side of it. Yeah. And as you head through that hallway, like I said, there's doors on both sides, and you head straight toward the door in the center, which opens up into kind of a rec area. There is a table with a booth that has 6 seats that kind of comes around like this, a half moon shape. And then there are 4 additional chairs on the opposite side that kind of encase it and circle it as well. There are a couple of different games that are set up on various tables and whatnot. And as you step in, to both sides you see 2 additional doors. And then as you walk directly into the room a bit, both sides there are like ramps with doors as well. And there are 2 large doors straight ahead on either side of that lounge area. Heading through there, you would see the gun deck, which has 2 cannons, if you will, 2 arcane cannons on the sides that can swivel around. And there's also, if you're familiar with submarines, they have one of those things that comes down that you can look through. Periscope, thank you. Except it's opposite and it goes down instead of up. You kind of look in through there, and there's a little trigger on one of the handles. One door directly ahead of you, which you would assume heads to the cockpit and navigation area, which is where Kubrick just went. That is your ship. Feel free to explore, discuss.
Are we just
whatever you will.
walking in a clump? Like, who am I next to?
I'm just giving you a bit of a description of the room. It's really up to you how you'd like to enter, who you'd like to walk with. Completely up to you. I'm going to leave it to you now.
I mean, I'm just gonna be so, like, far out. Like, just checking everything out, like, looking, like, my eyes are just, like, I'm trying to just take everything in. I've I've never seen anything like this before,
Yep.
so I'm clearly, like, just
None of you have ever seen anything like this. You've never.
Well, I can't
left
speak
the
for
planet you're
them. I
from.
just know that
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, whoever's the closest, I'm kind of like
I'm gonna be like,
tapping, doing like the far out.
Oh yeah, because
stuff.
you don't have your space legs yet.
yeah, so like,
All right. I would at this point, before you continue, like to award each of you an if point. So if you'd like to change that on your tab on the back of your tablets. those who are viewing currently, I mentioned it earlier, but ifs or inspiration fragments are bits of inspiration that you can use to increase your dice rolls. So everyone currently has one of those that they can utilize if they wish. Alright, looks good.
I cannot wait to forget I have that.
I just wrote it over here. I was like, I'm gonna forget.
Oh, yeah, it might be good to have it on your notes page.
Yeah.
So, conversation, whatever you would like to do.
Alright, if you would all like to take a seat here, I can make sure that our pilot is on course, and then I can explain exactly where we're going. Sound good?
Very well.
I mean, I guess.
Okay.
Excellent. She turns, leaves, heads towards the cockpit.
You head inside. There are two seats in the cockpit. One has a navigation, like a nav system, and the other has the controls for the spaceship. And currently, Kubrick is sitting in the control deck. He's like, Captain, is everyone aboard?
Yep, yeah, they're all set. Whenever
Very
you're
good.
ready.
I will start to undock now.
I'm assuming that Ezaziel gave you the coordinates we're heading to?
He did, yes.
Okay.
We will be heading straight to the steam portion of the elemental chaos. Post-haste.
Any time estimate?
I would say probably about 3 days travel.
Okay.
But make yourselves comfortable. Shouldn't be a bumpy ride.
Alright.
So you head out?
Yep.
Okay.
Is where are you guys sitting in this room? Like, are we all together?
So yeah,
or no?
I assume you're all in the rec room, the rec area at this point. So like I said,
That's
there's
where the seating was.
that's the big seating. There's a couple pinball machines, or the version of D&D
I am
version, space
definitely
version
gonna go
of
check that.
Spaceballs.
yeah, Spaceballs. Yeah.
Spaceballs.
Just kidding, that's not what it's called. We don't have the rights to that.
But yeah, so there's a couple places you can hang out. But yeah, there's the larger table with the booth area and the chairs.
Okay.
I'm sitting, waiting for our giver of information to come back.
I'm definitely just, walking around. If there is some sort of Spaceballs game, I will probably definitely go play that and be like, it's my
Absolutely.
favorite! And just, get right into it.
There's
And then-
Galaga. You can.
I mean, I'm probably messing it up because my pincers are too big, but,
Yeah. There, from everyone's perspective, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 doors that can be seen from this room.
Are
One
they
of
all
obviously
closed? Are some of them open?
At the moment, the one that Minerva walked through to get to the cockpit is open. So that's one of the ones to the north of the ship, toward the cockpit.
I want to walk towards that door and see and look in.
Yeah, absolutely. The other door that is open as well is the one that you walked through from the engine room. The rest are closed. And Plonk, as you kind of pop your head in there and take a peek, you see the periscope that I was talking about, but opposite. It's coming up from the ground, and like I said, with a little trigger on it.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 stations ahead and kind of to the left and right, where would be the commands for the guns that you'd be able to fire from, and there's little seats that are built into the floor that you can kind of swivel around on. And yeah, that room is fairly empty besides those 3 little areas.
Okay.
Anything you'd like to do, or just kind of peeking around?
Just
Are there
peeking
any
around.
windows or anything that we can see out?
From where you are currently, no.
I thought you were going to open one with smoke.
And that's it, that's the end of the campaign.
Yeah, everyone's gone. It's over, everyone. It's done.
Meanwhile, I'm still just hit.
Yeah, just floating in astral space,
Light, yeah.
it's not lighting. But yeah, Minerva, eventually you pop back into the rec area, and you can see everyone kind of scattered around. Plonk had her head poking, and as soon as she sees you, she kind of back out. Zaxa, what are you doing?
I'm still waiting.
Just
I'm
standing?
taking note
Copious
of
notes.
everything.
Everything. Yeah, just moving around the
Every
room.
part of this ship, so I can bring it back, so we can have this ship.
There you go. Very good. All right, so yeah, Minerva, you enter back in, and you can see them all doing their various things. Tita's playing some video games.
Definitely hip check.
Zox is running around the room, sketching, writing notes, and Plonk is kind of just slinking about, looking around.
So I'm gonna go stand over near the area where the couches and the chairs are and everything, and I'm just gonna say, could everyone gather over here. It's time, I guess, we talked about this a little bit more.
Oh, come on, Green, I'm almost done.
You'll be able to go back to it, don't worry.
I walk over and sit like right next to you.
I'm not gonna sit. I will just stand and kind of lean, maybe, on this seating area.
Sure.
I'll take a seat across from Minerva.
Okay.
So I suppose we need to do some introductions. Things were a little bit rushed back on that ship, but that's only because we need to get on course as soon as possible. My name is Minerva. I am from the star system that we're currently traveling through right now. And as I told you, I work for essentially a galactic surveillance system. What are your names? Not that I already don't know, but just to be
Tita.
polite.
What are you looking at?
I am Ezaziel. I am from the planet Verdalk.
And you?
Plonk.
What?
Plonk.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Okay.
Well, as I mentioned before, I work for a galactic organization. The employer of this organization is what you might call an all-knowing being. His name is Ezaziel. He's angelic. An actual angel, not an ASMR, I guess. He has the ability to see visions of things happening currently, things happening potentially in the future. He can see into different timelines. And there's a potential future that he wants us to investigate. My assumption is that this future cannot happen. And for that, we are going to be traveling to the center of the elemental chaos.
Whoa. What? Why?
In his vision, he saw it was a vision he shared with me, and to be quite honest, it's kind of hard to explain exactly what I saw. But it was essentially this just pulsing mass in the center of this elemental chaos, and a silver portion of it just shot outwards, and the thing kept almost like growing and oozing, and different structures in the galaxy started to fall apart, essentially.
So we're supposed to try to stop that somehow?
We need to, at the very least, figure out what this thing is. If it's something that is beyond our capabilities of containing, then it is under my assumption that other forces will step in to help with that. But our job is reconnaissance, essentially.
But why us?
I asked a similar question when Ezaziel showed me this vision, but well, Think of it
Ezaziel
as-
always has his reasons.
yeah. Think of it as sort of a second chance at life. Maybe the three of you didn't live up to something you were supposed to have accomplished. The only reason that you're here is because you were extracted from your expiration point. But maybe Ezaziel saw something in the futures of all of you that suggests that the galaxy may need you around for longer.
Okay.
And I know that that's a lot to take in, but I'm just being perfectly honest with you.
I feel we are working on quite a few assumptions here.
Do you want to go back and suffer whatever fate it was that we plucked you from?
No.
Good, then we go forward.
I suppose.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's go.
Oh, we're on our way. Cooper, the pilot, has already put in the coordinates for it. It'll be about 3 days travel.
3 days?
A lot of time for you to work on that game, Tita.
I guess I'll just head over to it and just be like, yeah, and just like,
Now, would anyone like to, I don't know if you're completed with your conversation, but the ship is yours to peruse and move about. I will say that it is rickety, it is rusty, and it is very old. You can hear clanging noises, and every once in a while you get this where everything shakes. But it seems like it's fine.
It's like
it's
when
okay.
your car makes a noise and you don't know what it is.
You're like, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear anything at all. It's fine. It's totally fine.
But anything in particular, you have 3 days of travel. Is there anything you'd like to do, talk about, explore?
I guess I'd like to ask, like, after the little introduction circle, like, are there any other questions I can answer?
Where exactly are we going again?
We're going to the center of the elemental chaos. We'll be entering there from the point where it intersects through the steam star system.
In this?
Presumably. If we run into some issue, I'm sure that we will be able to find some modifications.
Very well.
Which two elemental planes is the steam?
It is what makes steam? Water,
Fire. Water.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what are the names of those planes again?
There is the that's a good question. There's the impossible depths. That's the water, and there's the great inferno, which is the fire.
So I would also let Zaxa know that the steam star system is between the impossible depths and the great inferno, otherwise known as the elemental planes of water and fire.
Thank you. We just immediately start taking note of everything I can see out the window.
Well, because Zax, I believe that your goal was to get beyond the impossible depths, and that is exactly where you are currently.
That is correct.
Confetti!
You did it!
Hooray!
Minerva,
welcome,
Plonk,
Biscuit.
anything else? Tisa?
Do we have a place that we're sleeping?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been through a lot today. I'd like to have
That's
a rest.
very reasonable. I believe that the rooms are down this way. I also have not been on this ship before, but it's rather small. I think maybe we could find where the bunk rooms are. Let's go find them.
Okay.
And she's just gonna like get up and like start walking down the hall.
Sure. Any particular hallway you'd like to take? Because there are 7 exits from the wreck area.
The one that we came in through, I think. Because like,
Okay.
didn't I see like the other doors? Like
There were 2 doors in that hallway, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, we'll try that one.
Alright, so you head down there. There are 2, as you're heading down the hall, there's a door on your left and a door on your right, which I'm going to flip this upside down so I don't get it messed up, because you're going the opposite direction. So, the world is your oyster. What would you like to do?
Left or right?
Left.
Tita?
I'm still just.
The 2 of you staying in the rec room?
My head is in my book writing like a novel of worth of nothing that's out the window.
Yeah, I'm basically.
But it's the most
just
beautiful nothing he's ever seen.
No, yeah, I'm just in disbelief, like kind of ignoring basically everything and like, I don't know, thinking I'm like tripping or something. Like, so I'm just kind of like, like, whoa, Zach, like good stuff. So like I'm thinking, oh, do that edible. Just like waiting for it to wear off, basically.
So you step into, or you open the door on the left-hand side and step inside, and what you see is a few smaller square tables, also bolted to the floor, with a few chairs around them. There's 3 of those with 4 chairs each. And then if you kind of look further into the room, the room itself is in a very odd shape. When you walk in, it looks like a rectangular room, but then you kind of turn your head a bit and look down at a certain angle, and it extends much further that way, and you see a kitchen, like a kitchenette area where you could potentially make some food. So it's the mess hall / kitchen.
Alright, well, it It's not in here, but found the food.
I'm gonna walk over and try to get something.
Yeah. There's this chest, this big black metal chest. And when you pop it open, there's a bunch of like frozen items in there.
Okay.
They're like little frozen packaged items.
Okay, I'll just grab one.
Are you just gonna eat it like that?
Is there?
It smells frozen.
I
Freezer burn smell.
I look for a
Cooking device.
cooking device, something to heat this
Yeah.
up.
Being from the Feywild, this is insane. You've never seen
Yeah.
any technology like this before.
I was kind of like,
Do I know what she's
I like-
looking for?
I grab like
Well,
a
you
coffee
see
pot.
her holding something frozen, and she's kind of just like looking back and
I
forth
grab
in the
like
kitchen.
a coffee pot and I like put it in. And, like, put it in my thing. I'm like, like
Nothing seems to be happening.
You can't see it because like Minerva wears a mask that covers her whole face, but like she is like kind of chuckling at it.
and I just turn to you and I'm like, cook?
No.
Cooking?
I'm gonna take it. And I'm gonna actually cook it for you.
While you're doing it, I'm like,
Yeah, there's this, Minerva, you know, there's this metallic sphere on one of the counters over there in the kitchen. It has one singular button in the center. Press that, opens up, you put this circular frozen whatever it is inside, close it.
I'm very intrigued yet scared at the same time.
About 15 seconds later, you
Like,
hear
do
a...
I want to eat this?
Sounds like it's done.
Okay.
You'll get used to this.
I
know
walk
it's...
over and like push the button to like come out.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
the thing
and I'm like,
opens up right at the center of the sphere, and inside there is this small container. It's kind of sectioned off into sections, kind of like a TV dinner. There's like some type of meat product, a little veggie product, some kind of starch. Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome.
You start shoveling it in. And this is not like the
Shower
food
down.
that you get in the Feywild. The Feywild food is so delicious, but this is, it'll get you by, but there's nothing special about it.
Okay.
You guys got any hot sauce?
You'll get used to the taste of it eventually, don't worry.
So while they're in the kitchen making food, you're playing video games, obviously.
Obviously.
Ripping the bong, or just kind of...
Do I have it? Do I have it with me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right. Then Genevieve is for sure coming out. I'll rip the bomb. How like close is he to me? Like we're still in the same room.
He's kind of, you're in the same room. It's like a large room, though. It's probably like...
Like would I have to shout, or I could just talk?
No, you can just talk normally, yeah. And Zox is kind of running around all
So
over
yeah,
the
he's
place.
doing all his like. He looks super stressed. I'm just trying to like chill. So I'll maybe like play my game. Maybe I lose. Take Genevieve out, rip it, and then I just see him like all over the bed. I'm like, yo, Green, like just hit this, man.
Hit it. Hit it with what?
And then like I kind of like light it for him, and I'm like, breathe it in.
I've breathed in enough gas today. I don't need any more.
More for me. Just kind of like tuck it back in, go back to playing my game.
Nice. Are you doing anything different? Sticking with the drawings at the moment?
At this point is when I finally remember the book that I picked up. That's not actually mine.
Yes.
That I need to now investigate.
Yes.
So just stop in the middle of my tracks. Wait a minute. And take out the book. I still don't know what this is. And
Yeah.
just go into, I don't know, how many side rooms are there?
There are 7 exits to this place. One of them, goes to where you came from, through the engine room. Then the 2 that are straight ahead, kind of toward the north, toward the cockpit, they lead to the gun deck. You saw Minerva head that way, so you know those 2 go there. But there are 4 others that you could potentially go into.
I'll take...
door number 3, Steve?
No, never number 3. Door number 2.
Well, there are two on the left and the right of the room that have slight ramps that go up to one of those doors.
Okay.
And then there are two. So there's the one that you came through from the engine room, but then there are two others that kind of arc off in more diagonal directions.
I'll take one of those. The one on the right.
Okay. So you head down to the right, and as you move, the right side of the hallway has 5 doors, and the left side only has one at the very, very end of the hallway.
There are too many doors in this place. I'll go down to the end and take the left door.
All right. You step inside the room. It's very small, but there's a small cubicle with a toilet, and then there's a sink, and there's a rectangular box, probably about 7 feet tall, and maybe like 3 feet all the way around on each side. And it looks, you're not really sure actually what that is. It's not something that you've ever seen in Vidalc before.
No. I have other things to do.
There's a beautiful throne you could sit on.
Oh, I will sit on that throne. And I will start reading that book.
All right. So you open up the book and you start flipping through the pages, and this is something that you could, again, the similar writing that was on those cavern walls that you were investigating is inside this book as well. There are weird symbols and in languages that you are not really aware of.
This must be the cipher to the wall. I wish I could get back there. I just start copying what I can from the book into my book.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, so you just start writing as much as you can from that book. You do have that satchel as well, if you wanted to.
Oh, right. We'll just kind of open it up again.
It looks like a black void.
Just close it. That's for another time.
Very good. Plonk and Minerva. Plonk, you're eating up your meal. It goes pretty quick because it's not a ton of food in that little circular thing. But you feel pretty full. Satisfied, not delicious, but, satisfied.
It's aight.
It's aight. Minerva and Plonk, at this point, what would you like to do?
I know that we didn't find beds yet, but we found food and everything. I'd like to find those beds now.
Okay, let's keep looking.
All right. So you head out of the mess hall. There's one door straight ahead. Would you like to enter?
Yeah, peek
All
right
right.
in there.
Pop your head in. In here, this is your room, Minerva. There are racks and racks of weapons just lining all the walls of this. There are different types of swords and axes, as well as things like crossbows, bows and arrows with quivers. There are different types of sets of armor. There's all kinds of equipment here that could potentially be used. Well, as you know, these ships were used in battle, so it would make sense. But that is what you see as you enter the armory.
I'm just gonna close the door. This is not your room. Let's keep looking.
Okay.
Now you know if you continue down that hallway, it leads to the engine room.
Okay.
So there's no
not
other
that way
doors.
then. All right, so not that way then. Back to the rec room.
So you get back to the rec room, and when you get there, Zoxa is not there, but Tita is still playing the same video game.
How you doing on that game, Tita?
Hell yeah, Green. I'm like, don't talk to me. I'm like, checking
She-
it and like,
She like points over her shoulder. Kitchen's that way. If you
Yeah.
need anything to eat.
right on.
So you head back out into the rec area, and as you step through the doorway to the rec area, you can see on the same wall on either side there are 2 doors. And like I mentioned before, on the left and the right side of this particular room, there are 2 more with ramps that lead up to them.
So many doors.
Alright, I'm just gonna go to like the next one over.
Sure. Do you want to head to the left or the right?
The right.
Okay, so you head down to the right. Take the right door, and when you do so, you see as you step down that hallway, on the left-hand side there are 5 doors that go all the way down, and on the right-hand side there is one at the far, far end.
Choose a
goodness.
door or any door.
The first one.
First one, you open it up. It is very small, maybe like a 5x8 room, just enough to squeeze into, and there is a cot inside, and it looks like a drawer at the base of the cot that you could potentially put your things in.
Next.
I'm assuming one by one you head down, pop open each door. They're all exactly the same. These tiny little box rooms with little drawers, and that's about it. With the cots, of course.
Okay.
But there is one door on the left, the right-hand side, as you head down.
I'll look into there.
Yeah.
Too.
So you pop in. Similarly to what I explained to Zaxa, there's a toilet and sink and a weird box-like thing, rectangular box type thing, about 3 feet wide and 7 feet tall or so.
So I walk in and kind of like a child, I like look at her and I'm like, what's that?
Yeah. So above, as you open the little door thing and kind of look up, you see this. It's like almost like a cotton ball, like a big poof of white frilly stuff.
Okay.
And it's just, other than that, it's a box and there's like 2 buttons.
Okay.
Do I know what that is?
Yeah, it's a shower, but it's like a powder shower. It
Okay.
dusts you in this stuff and then gets blown off and you're perfectly clean.
Oh, that's from if you're dirty and want to freshen up. It's not bad.
I like to think of it as more of a car wash for humanoids.
The beaded
fair.
brush.
Do I know like what a toilet looks like?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You have similar things in the Feywild.
You're like, well, that's what it is.
What is
In fact,
this?
you have to clean them when you were a servant there,
Yeah,
so you
that's
know.
true. Okay, I'm gonna go to. I'll pick a room.
Sure. Which one would you like?
I'll just do the first one.
First one. Plunk's claiming the first room on the right side. Okay, cool. Jump in bed, take a nap.
Yep.
Cool. Minerva, you see Plonk jump into one of the cots, close the door. What are you doing?
What time is it?
At this point, it's getting pretty late. It was like midday when you were all pulled onto the ship in the first place, and after conversations and traveling to the new ship and kind of exploring a bit, yeah, it's getting late. It's getting, I'd say mid-evening.
I would absolutely like to go to the armory again.
Oh yeah, sneak back over the armory, take a peek inside. Oh yeah. Now, even though this ship was decommissioned and is in horrible shape, these weapons are pristine, perfect weapons. There's no blemishes or dings or anything like that. Beautiful.
Is it just an armory, or are there like any like targets or like mannequins or like things like to train with, or is it just like weapon storage?
At the moment, you don't see anything like that.
Okay. Alright.
But you're
And then,
more-
oh sorry, what?
I was gonna say, if you'd like, you can make an investigation check to really search around the room.
Sure, yeah. Why not? That's 15.
15, okay. Yeah, you start moving around the room, and as you're kind of moving around, you notice that there's one wall that's just blank and empty. And as you head over there, you can see that there is this like pulley rope that's kind of off to the side of it. Pull it, yeah.
I pull the rope.
It's like a double door that opens like this, and out pops all kinds of equipment that you can practice with. There are targets, there are dummies of people, there are all kinds of things that you can play around with.
Alright. Alright, yeah, I think she's gonna do a little crossbow training for a little bit.
All right, fantastic. So Plonk is sleeping, Minerva's crossbow training. Tita?
I'm basically gonna play like well into hours that I shouldn't. It's just basically always gonna be like that, like next level, so I'm just gonna kind of keep going. Eventually, I feel like what would... I'm not gonna be tired. Well,
Give me a dexterity check. I'd like to see how well you're actually playing this game.
not well. I rolled a 5-7. So definitely losing.
So it's very new to you. It's not something that you've ever done before. You're still having a fantastic time, but you just can't get past the second level.
Great. So I feel like, yeah, I'm just going to be, like, disgruntled about that, maybe, and I'm going to keep playing, and then rather than being tired pulling me away, I think I'm also going to get the little tummy grumbles and kind of walk off, I guess, in search of food, or would they have maybe no, she kind of told me where to go. Plonk kind of let me know, so I'll go fish around and eat whatever any of those weird looking things are, and then
yeah, you walking into the mess hall. This is insane. You've never seen anything like this. The most you have is like a hole that you keep things cool in. Like if you want to keep food cold or like grubs cold or something. Yeah, this is insane.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of be like awestruck by that and whatever. Yeah, search to find some rations or whatever, and then.
Well, yeah. After searching around, you open that same metallic black box that Plonk had opened, and yeah, there's inside there like freeze-dried packaged.
I'm just gonna be like ding 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 because they're frozen. I'm gonna be like what am I supposed to do with this?
You just eat it like.
I just tear it open like with my pincers and stuff, and I guess just eat it. Of course, I think it's probably gross. So I'm like but just get it down, I guess. And then I will go find somewhere to rest, I guess.
Zox, are you eventually heading to bed after you've looked into that book a bit?
Have I gotten any further in discovering its mysteries?
I would say yes. Running your fingers over the different symbols, and as you flip through the pages, you're seeing similar symbols on different pages, and you're getting an idea of what these could mean. Can you make an intelligence check or actually an arcana check for me, please?
Actually, I'm choosing bedroom 3.
Bedroom 3? Well, there are 10 altogether. So
that's not fun.
Each of the halls has 5. So
oh god.
Plonk is on the right-hand hallway, and that's.
Well, yeah, no, I'll go to where she's at, or I assume she's at, or would I not know?
I don't think you really know. You did see Minerva and Plonk head down that particular.
All right, so I'll go with that way, and then I'll just pick an empty one. Which if she picked 1, then I'll pick 3.
All right. So we got Tita and
Leave some space in the middle for privacy.
So what was your check?
I rolled a 3. Plus 4.
Oh.
Is 7.
Yeah. So like I said, you were kind of ciphering this, but you hit a bump. There's a few symbols that you're like, oh, I know exactly what this means. This makes sense. We're putting these two together with this one. But what is this one? And you start to, you stay well into the night looking through this book. And by the morning, you haven't gotten much further than you were before, but you definitely know that this might be what you've been looking for many, many eons ago. Or not eons, but what was it, about roughly 100 years ago. Or no, 88 years ago.
Yes.
When the elves appeared in Vidalk, this seems like it could potentially be something similar to the magic that they wielded. But at the moment, you have hit a roadblock.
I got like one eye open. It's like the morning now, and I'm just like.
Your legs have fallen
I'm
asleep
staring
at
at
this
a
point.
blank
From
page.
sitting.
I'm just like,
It's upside down.
I knew it.
Eventually, you just pass out on the throne, on the toilet, and
Great.
It's an interesting wake up in the morning. Your legs are completely asleep.
Do I get my hit points back?
You do. Everyone gets a long rest. Actually, Minerva, you were practicing. Do you eventually end up heading to bed?
Yeah, she eventually chooses a bedroom, but before doing that, she has a question for the pilot.
Oh yeah, you can head up to the cockpit and talk to Cooper. Sure.
We're gonna head up that way. So, just a question about the ship.
Yes, Captain.
Does it have like an autopilot or anything? Like, what exactly happens to its mobility when you need to sleep? I believe everyone is heading off to bed.
We do have a nav system that can kind of keep it on course. I like to try to stay out here as long as I can, because you never know what's going to be out there in space. So.
True, but sleep is also very important.
It is. I suppose I can hit the hay at this point.
Okay, just wondering what would happen is all.
All right. So you see him kind of hit a few buttons and make sure that everything's on course, and he'll be like, "Oh, Captain, have a great night."
You too.
And he heads off to bed. He is going to take room 2 on the opposite side of the hall. Okay. And you're heading to bed?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the hallway that I know Plonk was down.
Okay. So room 2, 4, and 5 are all available.
5.
I thought you have your own room.
No, when I said this is your room, meaning like this is the room she wants to be in.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Zaxa, you are asleep in the bathroom. Fantastic.
Yep. Face in a book.
Better than in something else.
Face in a book and age off in the toilet.
Very good. Well, the evening is uneventful. It is a calm ride. You're not rocking it around or anything like that. And yes, you all come to in the morning. Zaxa, your legs are just dead asleep. You go to stand up and just fall right over.
More damage now.
So, it is a new morning. What would you all like to do?
I'm gonna head to the mess hall first thing I do.
I'm also gonna do that.
Alright, cool. So you head to the mess. Anyone else?
I'm gonna do my usual open the eyes, rip Genevieve real quick, and
crusties
then
out.
get the big old crusties out, and then I'll rip Genevieve, and I guess if I would assume I would hear them kind of. Heading
it's not
to-
a huge ship, and it echoes a bit, so
Yeah,
you can definitely
so-
hear people.
Wait, did any of us hear Zaxa like fall over?
Oh, that's true.
Let's see.
I'm on the opposite side, aren't I?
True.
I was gonna say at the moment, only Kubrick could possibly hear that, so we
Right.
shall see. He does. He hears. Zaxa, a few moments go by as you fall onto the ground, and then you hear on the door. Everything okay in there?
I'm fine in here.
Okay. And yeah, he starts to head to the rec area. He kind of circles back to the mess hall, greets the two of you, goes and grabs one of those frozen meals, tosses it in the sphere, presses the button, just kind of sits there.
Yeah.
So,
Hi,
Alright.
first night on the ship.
how was it?
Well, like, I just kind of slept. I didn't really get to explore too much.
It's not that big, so you can certainly take a peek around, but you'll know it like the back of your hand pretty quick.
I'm sure.
I'm gonna head to the cockpit. As he says that, the ding happens and the thing opens up. He grabs his meal. If you need me, obviously, I'll be there. Yeah, and he heads out.
Yeah, good flying.
He's, of course, salutes when I head out. Tita, you have rubbed the crusties from your eyes.
Of course.
Did you edible or you?
No,
you said
no,
you
we
hit
got,
Genevieve.
we hit Genevieve, and then I guess if I can hear them, and like obviously now I've been to the mess halls, I'll just go see what's up and eat that disgusting frozen thing again. Or by chance they'll tell me to actually
So
eat it.
Plonk and whenever you see
'Cause I was
Tita
gonna
wander
just rip
in.
into it, and she's gonna be like, "What?"
Yeah. You see Tita wander in, just kind of stroll slowly over to the black box, open it up, pull out one of those frozen things, peel it back, and start crunching into it.
Hey, Plonk, you want to help him out?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up and be like, no. And like take it from him and just go, come watch.
Alright.
It's weird, I had to learn it too. And I just I push the button and just kind of toss it into it and push it again so that it cooks.
I definitely feel so safe the way she's touching the button in the distance. I'm like, do I even want to eat this?
Perfect. Zaxa, what are you up to? Eventually, the feeling comes back into your legs.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
lie there for
At that
5
point,
minutes.
I will get up.
The whole campaign.
After reviewing my notes of horrible insomniac gibberish, I realize I've gotten nowhere, and I think I need to ask Minerva. She spoke of visions and angels and whatever the hell else she spoke of. She knows more than I. She might be able to help me with this book. So I'll go out the door and head back to the rec room. Because that's the only other room I know of.
Right. So you head to the rec room. As you get in there, you just see the tail end of Kubrick heading into the gun deck. Where he's holding like one of his meals, and he's just heading into the gun deck / cockpit area. And that's the only person you can see at the moment. No one else is in the rec area.
Pilot.
Yes. Oh, Zaxa. Hey.
Yes. Where are the others?
I believe they're in the mess hall.
Where is the mess hall?
So he kind of turns around and points at the far, well, from your angle, the far left door on the far end of the rec area.
Thank you.
Of course. It is. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. They're in the mess hall, so that is. He points to the center hallway where you originally came down when you entered the ship through the engine room.
Okay.
From your angle, it's the door on the left.
Great. Thank you.
No problem. And he heads into the cockpit area.
I'll go head to the mess hall then.
All right. So yeah, you head inside and you see the three of them. Two of them are kind of standing around some weird metallic sphere, and Minerva's just kind of watching them.
She's just
Do I hear him
arms
come in?
crossed. She's just kind of looking
Do I
over.
hear him come in or
Yeah,
see
the
him?
door is like the whoosh sound. So yeah, you can.
I
definitely
kind
hear
of
that.
turn, I see him, and I just like, cause whatever.
Nod.
I like run up to him and I'm like, do you know about the food?
I know of food.
No. Everyone knows what food is. I meant, do you know how to cook it?
Usually fire works best.
No.
So what?
No fire allowed in space.
There's none of that here. I'll show you. And I'll like grab a random meal and I'll go, is this what you want?
Do I have other options?
I don't know.
I'm just gonna be like, man, they all suck anyway.
So is this what you want?
Sure, fine.
Okay, follow me. I like
You
run.
seem very chipper this morning.
Chipper.
So different.
Meanwhile, I have like my pincers and I'm just like picking stuff like
I
weirdly,
slept.
like,
I slept for like 12 hours. Like I'm like ready to go.
Yeah.
But so I'm like, look, watch this. Like that, and I like. And it like goes, and I go, now we wait.
And after a couple of moments, it.
My hands
opens
are
up.
like, and it like, so it springs out, and I like go to grab it, and then I realize it's like extremely hot, and I go, and I just kind of like throw it.
Make a dex check, please.
hands.
My best one.
I know.
I rolled a 9, so that means it's an 8.
It's not as terrible as I was hoping it was. So she's like, flings the thing, and instead of hitting you directly in the face, you can move a little bit out of the way, and then you feel the scalding meal just hit you in the shoulder and like down the side.
Can I reach into a cabinet and like pull down a plate and just be like, here?
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Just take the plate and take what's on my shoulder and throw it on there.
Dust the shoulders off.
It's not great.
Yeah,
But it's
Right.
but it's sustenance.
I'm still like looking at it like, what is this? Like I'm just putting it in my mouth, but I'm so like, no.
So
Now I'm
Zaxa,
gonna-
how was your first night on the ship?
I'm just gonna run out to the rec room.
Could have been better, I guess. It's just like
First night in
eating
space
with my
always a little
hands, I
rough.
guess. There's no utensils
Yeah.
here.
You still have your book
No,
strapped
no.
to your side, right?
I'll take one of my darts and like start eating it.
Do you want a fork? She just opens
Well,
a drawer.
I guess so.
she just opens a drawer and like hands you a fork.
So now I could be wrong, but I'm assuming that while you're eating, you're also trying to do some research and whatnot.
Well, I need to absolutely write down whatever the hell that whole situation was. So I know to do it better later.
Sure.
But yes, I need to. So as I'm going, I look at Minerva and I have a question for you. I think you're the only one that can help me. And I'll take out the book and just kind of slide it to her.
Flip through it.
Yeah,
Do
so
I know what this
Minerva,
is?
when you receive this book, you take a peek at it, and on the front cover, it's a brown binded book. On the front cover in like gold etching, you see a hexagram symbol, which is the 6-pointed star. In the center is one of those large, all-seeing eyes, and at each the midpoint between each point, like this, there's a different symbol all the way around.
Do I recognize any of the symbols?
The symbols from that, you do recognize the main symbol, and that's the symbol of divination.
Okay.
That type of magic. But the other little symbols around the edges you are not aware of.
Okay.
I would say you're not necessarily trained in the arcane arts, but you are definitely familiar with them, as a couple of your companions on the Halo cast arcane spells. So though you may not be a great help, you can definitely at least get him started.
Okay. Well, the symbol on the front cover is a divination symbol. It's one of the types of magic that exist. I don't know much about magic myself, but I know people that do. Can I open the book and
Flip through?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And if you'd like to spend a little bit of time, you can assist Zaxa and potentially help him to learn a bit.
Sure, yeah. Do I whatever language it's written in, do I understand it, or
Yes.
is it celestial?
It is not celestial,
Oh, okay.
but
What other languages do I know? Oh my god.
it's not necessarily a language per se, it's more arcane symbols.
Oh, okay. Why do I know that?
Well, you are very good friends with Modron, and he is a warlock and an arcane caster of sorts.
It's
and
my boy.
yeah, he's definitely he's kind of showed you a bit here and there.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're looking to help Zaxa with that, Zaxa, if you'd like, you can roll an Arcana check with advantage.
I would like that, actually.
I don't know much personally, but I have a very good friend who often uses magic. I might be able to figure out a couple things.
Wow.
That's truly amazing.
What do you got?
So I rolled a 1
Yeah.
and a 3.
Oh!
So we'll go with 3
Yeah.
plus 4.
Okay.
So it's another
Roll
7.
with another 7.
Oh man.
So Minerva's trying to point out different symbols, and she's trying to get your head in the game, but you're just not comprehending what she's trying. You're not picking up what she's putting down.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
I am totally bored by whatever they
Oh,
are.
yeah, they're reading.
They're reading. Look out. So I'm gonna finish my snack and then just go search around.
Meander.
Yeah.
Any particular areas you'd like to try to check out?
Well, first I'm gonna look for a bathroom probably.
Well, you enter. You leave the mess hall, and you see that one door across the way. And then on either end of the hallway, there are additional doors, which one leads to the engine room, and one leads to the rec area. But the one across the way, you
Can I
not.
see the one that in the one that's open? No.
The engine room's closed. The one across the way, it's not open.
I don't know. Eeny, meeny, miny, whichever one. I'm just looking for. I'm gonna hunt down till I find a bathroom.
All right,
so.
yeah. Give me an investigation check. We'll see how long it takes you to.
Oh, good. I have 0 bonus. So this is all about.
At least it's not a negative.
19.
Ooh! All right, nice.
Damn it! Wasted on this.
It
I'm trying to find
It doesn't take you long at all. You head down. You get back to the rec area, and you're like, left, right, left, right. I don't know which way to go. And you're like, I'll go down the hall with where my room is, my bunk.
Oh, yep.
You head down there, and you see 5 on one side, 1 door on the other side. Check the one on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, heading in there, there's a bathroom in there that you can utilize. Yeah, no problem.
Is there a mirror? Can I see what I'm looking like?
There is a mirror.
So I'm definitely gonna, obviously use the facilities, and then, wait, is this the one that has the shower in it too? The little cup thing?
Both bathrooms have.
Alright, so I'm gonna, I'll go to the
cover
bathroom, and then I'll catch my reflection and be like, oh, cause clearly I'm just no, the last I showered was clearly, before a work day, almost dying, so, I'll, fix my little beads and stuff, and then take my little powder shower.
Perfect. Yeah. So you step inside. There's two little buttons there.
Wait, no, I don't step inside. From outside, I'm gonna touch one button and see what happens, and then the other one's gonna.
Yeah. So when you press the left or right?
We'll do left first.
Okay, so you press the left one.
Yep.
And this almost cloud-looking ball of fluff up top immediately drops down over where you would be and kind of just starts to shift like this, up where your body would be.
Can I reach out and see if I can poke it?
It's super soft, and when you poke, a little bit of dust goes out toward your hand, and it starts doing that, and then it retracts back up into the ceiling.
Okay, and then can I press the other button?
Yeah. This time when you do that, you press the button, and this gust of air, just all the dust that was in there, just all over you.
Great. Of course, I didn't have my goggles on, so now I'm just
oh!
around my eyes again.
Goes into your eyes, you put your goggles on, it's in the goggles.
It's inside the goggles. So do I guess that that's to get clean? So I'm gonna get in and get clean, or I'm not what the?
You get an intelligence check.
Oh, great. 19 again!
Wow!
I have no
All right.
So.
Nice. Yeah, you would assume that this is nothing like you've ever seen before, but you would assume if it's in the bathroom with the
I
other
gather,
thing,
okay.
you can gather.
So I'm gonna get in actually, and I'm just gonna press the buttons a couple of times. I'm gonna do the whoosh and then be and then and then do the other one and just kind of it all whooshes off. And I'm ow! And then I just kind of do that.
You start hitting these buttons, and the thing is and the air's blowing all over the place. And for the integrity of that lovely shower machine, I rolled a 1. So as it's the cloud, the poof cloud at the top just and it falls off onto the ground, and the wind just keeps blowing now, and it won't stop.
Great. So I'm assuming I can't fix that. So I am going to check myself out in the mirror again, make sure I look okay, and then.
You're looking pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know, because between the cloud and the dust, there's a lot of dust. So I'm looking whatever. I'll make sure I'm okay, and then I'm just gonna kind of tiptoe back up in the room and shut the door. And then I'll just head back to the pinball machine or whatever, because now I'm just oh crap.
Fantastic. All right. So you're back to the pinball machine. Yep. Zaxa and Minerva, after some time, Zaxa, you just get frustrated. You're making no headway with this book. And it is, like I said, it is really frustrating because this is what your people have been trying to discover on their own for, I would say probably 50 cycles at this point, 50 years. But yeah, it's just a frustrating situation. And you're getting frustrated too because you're trying to teach him things and he's not getting it at all.
Pick it up!
Plunk, what was it that you're still in the mess hall or?
No, I went to the rec room
Okay.
and I just kind of wanted to look around everywhere and stuff.
Yeah,
and
well, there are actually 2 doors that no one has gone in
okay.
yet. There's on the left and the right hand side of the rec room. There are 2 slanted ramps that lead to those whoosh doors.
Okay, I'll go to the one on the right.
All right, so you head over there. There's a panel on the side of the wall that has this glass screen.
Let me
You kind of touch it. Ding, ding, ding.
I on the door.
Nothing happens.
I put my hand on the glass screen thing.
Wait, as soon as you put it on there, the door slides upward.
I jump backwards.
Now it's an odd vision that you get when you jump back and look inside. It looks as though whatever room this is on its side. There's a couple seats in there, but they're also on their side, and it's almost as if you were entering through the bottom of whatever this is.
Okay, I want to go in.
Yeah, so you go in and
Curious.
everything is slanted, and you can see that the seat has some type of like belt on it
Okay.
that you could potentially belt yourself into.
I sit in it.
Yeah, so you're like at an angle, just kind of like in the inside of this thing, and in front of you is a similar screen to the one you just put your hand on, and a bunch of buttons and knobs and levers, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
And again, you're all like you're kind of on your side. And
Coming from Tita, don't touch any of the
Bonk, I swear to God.
looking forward while you're sitting in the seat, there is like a glass, like a windshield almost. You can see out into astral space. You can see the purples and the greens and the blues just kind of swirling, almost like pea soup, like a mist.
Do I put this together, like what it is?
Make an intelligence check.
I hope not.
When we're all over here, like, roll low. Oh, jeez.
Nat 20.
Oh!
I know.
Nice. So yeah, you're sitting there and you're looking at this weird screen. You put your hand on the screen and then everything begins to light up. There's all different kinds of buttons. There's a big red button. There's
Is there a cover on it?
Yeah.
there is not a cover on it.
We need
to
put a cover on that.
There is like kind of like an airplane pilot's like
Yes.
yeah. So you can kind of control whatever this is on its own. It looks like.
Okay. So I'm
There's,
kind of
yeah.
like,
So I said there's a bunch of buttons. There's a big red one. There's like a line of a couple different green ones, black ones all over the place.
so it's like it's an escape pod, pretty much.
Possibly. With a natural 20, I would say that looking at the screen and all the different buttons, sure, it could double as an escape pod, but this looks like it is kind of like a miniature gunship, like a small, like it could separate from the larger ship and be on its own.
Okay, well, now that I know that, I'm not going to push any buttons.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fight the urge to like push the red button and everything. I'm like,
It's just calling you.
I just unbelt myself and I get out. I walk back in and I walk straight across to the other one to see if it's the same.
Yeah, you put your hand up on the crystal screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the door opens up.
I jump back again.
Yep. It is exactly the same, but flipped the other way.
Okay, I get in and I sit down and, and I put my hand on the thing and I look around
Everything
and
lights
I go,
up, all the buttons.
and I go, again. and I go,
And as you're in there, you can hear like all the creaking of the ship and whatnot on the sides, all kinds of banging noises from all over the ship.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what you see in there.
okay, I'm gonna go back to the rec room
Okay.
and jump on the couch.
Just jump up and down.
Yep.
All right. Well, perfect. So yeah, you start jumping around, and eventually, I would assume that Zaxa and Minerva, you're gonna give up on the book.
Oh yeah.
I think, yeah, Minerva's getting frustrated. Like, she's like, listen, to understand this symbol, you need to understand these two and how they can go together.
That doesn't make any sense.
Just keep looking at it.
I can't just look at the symbol. It doesn't change. Something else needs to happen.
So yeah, as you step back out of that little pod into the rec room, you see Tita playing his video games off to the corner.
Am I doing any better?
Make a dexterity check.
Please better than level 2. It's gonna be a 12.
12.
Oh, lies. No, yes.
You do get past level 12.
Yes!
But then you fail on level 3.
Oh! How many levels are there?
You don't know.
I'm just watching, like,
laughing every time he's like, yes, no!
Every time it's like I die, I like jump on top of it, like, and I'm all like, and then I just like, jump back.
Very good. Well, while you are all doing these things, I would assume Minerva and Zaxa, you're starting to head back to the rec room.
Yeah.
As you do that, you hear over the intercoms, Cooper is like, Captain, might want to come look at this.
I'm just gonna turn to Zaxa because you're the only person I'm with him, I guess.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And she leaves, goes to the cockpit.
Yeah. So you head up to the cockpit, and Kubrick, as soon as you enter the door, Kubrick is Captain.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything like this? And he kind of points out the front windshield area, and what you see is a massive, silvery, swirling cloud that is shifting and veering in sync in different directions. Awe-inspiring beauty. You've never seen anything like this, and you've seen a lot of things. It almost looks like tiny diamonds sparkling in the vacuum of space. And you kind of watch for a bit. And then...
I don't believe I've seen anything like this.
Neither have I. Do you want to get closer and take a look?
Do we have any ways to access informational databases from this control panel? Maybe we can figure out what this is without needing to approach it.
Well, if this ship wasn't a piece of Dren, then yeah, we probably could. But it's so outdated, nah, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
If you want, you can make... we will do, for this one, we'll do an Arcana check.
Can I be peeking in the door?
Oh, yeah. Are you going through the gun deck to get up to the cockpit?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you can kind of head up there. There's only one cockpit door. You can kind of creep your head, and you see Kubrick sitting on the left-hand side, and he's got the similar controls to the ones that are in those pods. And he's kind of just like staring out, and Minerva's standing there staring out as well, kind of just like looking. Anything you'd like to do? You can kind of see this silvery swirling, and like I said, it's moving in unison together.
Okay. I'm just kind of like sitting there in awe of what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that before.
So yeah, they're kind of back and forth. Now the two of you, are you doing anything?
I mean, I'm still just trying to...
You all heard the intercom, by the way. It's calling Minerva to the front.
I'll head up to the cockpit to see what the frell's going on.
Yeah. Are you just popping your head like plonk, or are you just stepping in?
Oh, I'm stepping in.
Yeah. You just walk right in, and yeah, right in front of you, this large silvery mass that's swimming. It's far. It's a good distance away at the moment, but.
You want the Arcana check?
Yes, please.
17 plus 1, 18.
Yeah. So you don't know too much about them, but you do know what they are. They are originally, they're little tiny constructs, like the size of a beetle, maybe. And they were created by the inhabitants of Mechanus to keep ships from their planet.
Oh, so it's like a... So is it like a construct that is like grown, or like a cluster of them?
It seems like it might be a cluster of like-minded, like a hive mind kind of thing.
Oh. Okay, yes, after remembering that, I'm going to let Kubrick know. I've never seen this, but I do believe it's many little constructs all moving together. They were made by people on the planet Mechanus in order to keep people away from the planet Mechanus.
So we should steer clear?
We should steer clear. Essentially, it's some kind of shield.
Now, Zaxa.
Yes.
And Plonk. As Minerva and Kubrick are facing each other having this conversation, you're kind of mesmerizingly watching this thing back and forth, and then all of a sudden it just stops. Right there in the center of space, just not moving at all. Hovering still. And then almost as if jettisoned from space, they fly directly toward the ship at an insane speed, and speed that you've never seen before. You just see this big silvery cloud start flying toward the ship.
We need to move now!
And when Zaxa says that, the two of you look up and you see these things flying at you. And that
Awesome.
is where we are going to end for the
What?
evening.
Wait, did I just hear him or no?
He yelled loud enough.
Oh, yeah.
I
For
kind of
sure.
like screamed. So.
All right. Well,
Oh.
viewers, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next Monday from 7 to 10. And I hope you all enjoyed yourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Have a good night.